again, is in the drop down before. But can we please just break 152 so we can get that next round up? Because for me, I'm holding for up here on this bad boy. So that's what I want to see. I don't want to just see this dollar half that it's been able to get off the lows. I want it to show some real continuation to the upside. Just like Micron was able to get to VWAP, let's see if SpaceX can do the same. But it's past 11. That means we'll be back at 2. It's 32 seconds past, Joe.
Be careful with Joe.
We gave you a full 39 seconds, Joe. You want 45 seconds?
He wants
extra?
a lot. He wants more.
Okay, so 45 seconds right now. We'll give Joe an extra in a minute. Because Joe's been putting in some serious work.
Yeah,
shout out to Joe for filling in. We appreciate you, Joe. So we're going to go until 11:01, and then we're going to throw it on over to the midday, because that's how we roll. And now it's 11:01. We'll see you back at 2 o'clock. Peace.
Good fucking guy. Boom, 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 boom. We got all the weapons out today. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy, Joey Options. I am Sharif. I see it. Nella. Nella's coming in fast and furious there, Tiffany, because she wants us to look at TVRD. Bless you, Neil. Oh, my days. I felt the reverberations on that bad.
Sean got wet there.
God. Did you feel the bass? That was all bass, no treble, man. All right. Man. Say hello to everybody. Joey, Brian, Wendy's, Tendies, Tisha, I see it. TVRD is moving, Tisha. We got Hangry, we got Andrew, we got Wampadilla and I Grow Fighting. Shout out to Christmas and Shanna Banana, Litho, Monarch, Scott. We got Smith, Chris. We got No Teeth, Please, 69. What up? Right back at you, baby. Roulette. Almost God? Really? Alan, we got Anurag, we got Arcane, Laval. Who else, man? It's Shafi, William, Leah, Crazy Dirt Weed. We got Bailey, Jaguar. Shout out to 636 Wicks and Blicky Spears in the house. Shout out to Rodney Owens, Cassie Mint, Lee, the frickin' conductor. Man, I feel like there's gonna be what's it called? An Austin Powers 4, because they're teasing it with that Verizon commercial.
Yeah,
you see that Verizon commercial?
I've seen that.
Is it Verizon or T-Mobile? Does it really matter, Joey? Shout out to A-Day Trading, a.k.a. Luis frickin' Barbado, man. Away Gaming, Daryl Finch. If you don't know why I'm doing the frickin' thing, that's because from Austin Powers, obviously. I hope everybody gets that. I'm not actually trying to swear. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, guys. I mean, hey, a little bit of southeast price action here in the overall market, but nothing that we should be overly surprised about. We've been going through some pretty big runs. What happened?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, we've been on a pretty big run. The overall market's been doing pretty good. And at times we pull back, right? So I think this is going to be a good opportunity for a lot of us to get involved in some names that I feel that we're going parabolic and maybe a little bit too far too fast.
Really?
And what am I referring to? Maybe DRAM, but you don't want to jump in too quick, right, guys? We'll get into some of the price action. We'll touch on some of the trades I had here today. So listen, this is what I had going on. I've taken 3 here today, and it's definitely been a slower start. But that's fine, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we get out when we're supposed to, and that's all that matters, which leaves us a couple rounds left in the magazine. So what we got going on here is a nice entry, and it runs right into the volume-weighted average price. And I mean, this was my largest position of the day. And sure enough, when it goes there, it rejected the volume-weighted average price like it was going out of style. And then as soon as it cracked the low day, I had to get out. Because just due to the amount of share size, it would have been game over big time and then some if I continued to hold. So this one didn't work out for us, guys. And I mean, that's small potatoes, right? Like we just wait for another primetime opportunity. I don't know if we're going to have the chance to pick any form of a bottoming, but that's what we had going on here today was TSLL. Now, I want to focus on this before we go through Sharif's rundown and see what we got going on, but I'm gonna point this out, okay? And it's very, very identical to some other patterns.
Show them, Joey.
Yeah, we're about to show them right now. So what we have is 3 consecutive lower highs on the NASDAQ, and with a base right here starting to form, right? So what do we have? A little bit of a descending wedge. Where did we see this before? Okay, let me pull it up, Sharif.
I remember BMNR.
No. Now we can, if you want, we can go there as well too. But what? One sec, uno momento. Here we're in the middle of something, but there it is, right? So bang, same descending wedge, and you break through the support where you fall into a consolidation. Now, I just believe that considering the move that we've been on as of late, we're gonna get some form of a pullback. No one panic, all right? Don't, some people are panicking. I'm borderline panicking as well too, Sharif, but no, I'm obviously being sarcastic. But if you do get this pullback, I think it's gonna be a good opportunity to get into some high quality names. Now, we're gonna start rolling into earnings season in the next couple of weeks, and this is gonna be a massive teller. We've seen what happened with NVDA. We've seen what happened with Samsung yesterday. Now, you can blow it out of the water, and Sharif and I often say the market is forward looking, okay? So we priced all of this in. Now there wasn't enough surprise, so that's why you're starting to see a little bit of some downside.
I gotta tell you, I need to be a little bit more surprised here, Joey.
Well, right? I don't know how much more. It's not surprising enough for you. Well, how about something I've been talking about for the past year? KOSPI, 300%.
That's crazy,
right? So it's somebody knows something. It's priced into the market, and now we're chilling.
We may or may not have been looking for KOSPI ETFs to short this morning. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about this first, Joey. VinFast continues to expand beyond vehicle sales. This week, VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan with VinFast VF6 vehicles. Together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the NASDAQ under ticker VFS. Shout out to VinFast. We're going to see you.
Thank you so much. Just keep an eye out on STLA. Stellantis falling at the moment, by reports coming that it has open order for its small Fiat Topolino electric vehicle in the United States, starting at $13,995. Not that much. So the Topolino, which is capable of going 19 mph, is a quadricycle that functions more like a golf cart. So last year it had confirmed that it would bring from the Italy to the U.S. less than a week after U.S. President Donald Trump had praised small KEI cars from Japan. So Stellantis dropping here, down 1.7% at the moment. Nothing major, but just keep an eye out.
You want to look at that? That's what Carso Wow 8823.
This is SK Hynix, I'm pretty sure.
It's just that's South Korea.
Okay, bang, South Korea, bang.
Yeah.
The thing is though, honestly, this is what I'll point out is
exactly the 3 times. So just look for a non-leveraged one, right? I'm sure there.
Dude, look at it. That is crazy.
Yeah, we're looking at KORU. Thank you to Carswow 8823. Joey and I were talking about this off camera in the morning. I'm not personally looking to short anything. I've never shorted anything in my personal account ever.
I will, if the time is right, 300% in the KOSPI, I will buy puts. I'll buy a put. So the risk is defined.
Fair.
Right?
That's actually quite smart.
So you don't get blown out of the water on it. So whatever our premium paid is, but you pretty much have to be willing. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now, though.
No.
You have to be extremely patient with that.
It's like the telecom companies.
But 300% is crazy.
The telecom, their day is coming. The telecom companies, their days are numbered, right? It's just a matter of time in their current form. Anyway, let's get to work. Skin, big breakout there, up about 35%. Look, the pickings are slim today in the world of small cap gappers, so we're going to have to be quite discerning in what we trade. But there are a couple of names. TVRD, the biggest, the baddest of them all. Into the high day goes, 364, great structure. It's holding structure, and it's proved that on multiple occasions. Area high, breaks out, holds prior area high as support. You got to love that look. Now, we're getting a little extended. What's going on over there, Katina Man? Katina Man is still short SpaceX. He's long SpaceX off 150. And now he's almost $2 in the money. So if you're looking for that 150 bounce, the Katina Man's got it right now. Those are the positions still for them at the bottom. They haven't turned over. As soon as we go back to what we're talking about here, TVRD, getting a little extended. 364 area high, having trouble with 350. There is a 3 1/3 buyer. You can see that vis-a-vis these 2 5-minute candles, the low of which is, you guessed it, 3 1/3. Alas, we are extended away from the 10 moving average as well as the volume weighted average price. But here we go again. trying to take out that 364 high a day. If this one takes out 4, Tiffany, we're likely going to 5, okay? So we're going to keep a close eye on TVRD over here. Let's see how we can execute on it. And then a trader, I forget the name, and I do apologize. I'm not good with names. I'm just not. VRXA, bleeding its own blood after a nice breakout and a late day breakout at that. We start getting the volume at around 10:15 from that 220 area into 3 in a straight line. Last, we are losing the volume weighted average price and the 10 EMA. Let's see if we can hold above the $0.50. We're currently defending that $0.50 on this current 5-minute candle. We'll see if that holds up. VRXA, the ticker. There's more. CLRO. Look, this one feels like a sideways S, right? Where it has that big move up and then, you know, kind of holds support, then rockets up again, only to come back down to hold the prior area high. So that prior area high is, give or take, around $10. Now, the problem is the volume weighted average price a skosh higher than that $10 area. So don't be strict in your stop placement here. They have to be area stops, right? This is too volatile. It moves 30, 40 pennies in one quick move. So be on the lookout here. CLRO, definitely one that I'm going to keep my eye on. Other than that, guys, my scanner is littered with leveraged ETFs, mostly inverse ETFs to account for the market move today. The NASDAQ absolutely getting clipped to the tune of 2%, led by the semis. And by semis, of course, I do include all of microchip semiconductor sector, including memory names. So that is the look right now, Joey. Weapon to forehead, I'm looking at TVRD.
Weapon to forehead.
Like if I had to choose, TVRD it is.
Did we shout out Bravely?
Well, we did not.
Oh,
so
man,
we failed again. Well, I failed again. Here we're going to do it since you do it a lot. So let's go ahead. Shout out my man Bravely over there. We want to shout out Erie Aki on TikTok, Peace, Vroom, You Sa, and Brav Ariel. How about Raxus Prime and Ray? Shout out to Vitan, Robert, as well as Twiggy 0808. Shout out to my man Twiggy.
Okay.
I used to call a skinny friend of mine Maga Bones, and that Twiggy kind of rang a little bit of a memory. You know?
Yeah,
we have a lot of bones, Joey. Very little in the way of skin and muscle.
Yeah.
But
we would call my friend. We had a friend named Stick.
Stick, yeah. Maga Bones, Stick, Twiggy, right? Shout out to Traveler. We got Farzad, Habib, Dr. Who Will Do, Traveler 2005. Shout out to everybody there, guys. Love y'all, man. Have a good. Oh my God.
What happened?
Oh my days.
Mega Bone.
Apparently, I'm on a bender now.
On a bender. What is he
Look,
doing?
I'm smoking cigarettes.
Bro, that's
I've got
crazy.
my top there, my green 7-Eleven top.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess I had a good night out, Joey.
Is that you in Dallas?
Yeah. I don't even remember the last time I smoked a cigarette.
That's
I was
crazy,
probably
man.
like in first or second year university.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's good. That's good, man.
The honest.
Can I say
right
something,
there,
man? Tobacco smoke is it tastes like it's hot garbage, man.
It is hot garbage. Bro.
It's just like, and it stinks. You know those people who just like smell like perma cigarette smoke?
Yes, those are my favorite people. You know what I really like?
What?
When I'm walking to work at like 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, there's somebody in front of me smoking a cigarette, and it just wafts into me on the walk to work. It's sick.
Yeah, I mean, all right, man.
Try it.
That picture is aura, apparently, man. All right, guys, yeah, let's get some stuff rocking and rolling here. We'll try one more on Tesla just for fun and games to see if we can get a nice little move to the top side consolidating. We got to break up. You know, Katina Man is long, Bravely. Shout out to you. So once again, thank you for reminding us to do that. Cigars legit smell good, in my opinion. I think a cigar smells a half decent, not a cigarette. Anyways, let's head over to our watch.
Cigar is different. I'd agree.
Completely different. It smells like you could say, if you probably smelt it when you were in Dominican, just like across the way, right? So there's actually a half decent.
That's the thing about Dominican too. I didn't really like the fact that they allow smoking
different story.
The hotel premises, because it's just way too much.
So yeah, don't bring back smoking in restaurants and airplanes. No. Apple, guys, here we are to the positive. We're up about 1/5%. So nothing crazy. We're gonna try a little long off of the lows here on Tesla, just in case. case, we do get a rebound back towards the volume-weighted average price, or it could be on the higher time frame, a 5-minute consolidation before it takes an additional leg lower, which seems to be the latter half of what I've just explained. So what we do have here, guys, is this curl over shape pattern as we are now about to crack. As soon as 310 goes on TSLL, we're at a dodge on that bad boy. Take a paper cut on that one. Not too much to worry about over there. But what was up 8% yesterday, Sharif, is now down 8%. There's AMD to the downside, guys. So a little bit tougher of a look, but from the bigger picture, we're only down about 12% off of the highs.
Quick reminder, everyone, Trader TV Live members on YouTube get Sharif's, mine, daily morning research note every trading day that I am here. The big market stories. We're talking the key levels, the trade plan, what catalysts to look for, what we're watching into the open. It is only $4.99 per month, guys, not even week, per month. And you also get members-only videos. The Katina Man, the Neil, they've been putting these members-only videos on there. You are not going to get them unless you are a subscriber. You also get custom emojis. You get loyalty badges. Hit the join below the video to become a member. Shout out to all our members, guys. All right, let's get right down to work.
Yeah, let me finish something here. There goes to the low of the day, guys. Intel also down 10%. So we can head over to the memory storage. You have DRAM down 8%. You have Seagate also down 6%. Texas Instruments down as well. Micron down 6%. And SanDisk. SanDisk getting hit the heaviest, guys. $2,300 high all the way down to $1,500. You were trading at a 35% discount right now, my boy.
Welcome to Solar Energy Corporation 6504. Thank you very much, brother or sister, for joining there. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for joining us as well. And of course, thank you to all our current members. All right, let's get right down to work. We are long TVRD, and we're looking at defending that $0.50. Alas, we did put in a bit of a topping tail candle on the 5-minute chart previously, so I am a little concerned here. First profit taker, we're looking for, you know where we're looking. If we're in the 60s, let's cut the crap. We're looking for 69, but I have a bias that this one could mosey on up into that $4 area. And let me tell you something. If it breaches 4, my bias will immediately flip to 5, okay? That's typically what we see these big movers stop at, 5, 10, 15, 20. It's typically ranges of 5. That is not a hard and fast rule, but it is something that anecdotal that I have been observing. So we'll keep a close eye here on TVRD. I'm also alive to CLRO, but I'm not quite certain that I'm interested in getting into that one yet because it's still putting in lower highs. And I definitely need it to switch up its tune a little bit. Yes, it is at the volume weighted average price. Yes, it is holding that $10 area. CLRO is what I'm talking about right now. But it is not changing its tune. And by that, I mean it is an unbroken downtrend. So if it wants to continue selling off, all right. But it's not going to find a buyer in me until, of course, it does give me some higher highs. Whoa, skin just rocketed up. I don't know what this is doing. I don't even know the liquidity yet. I haven't looked at this on a trading screen. It was trading at 103. Now it's at 112. This is a dollar name, so this is a pretty big move in one 5-minute candle, something to be looking out for there. Moreover, you got a clean defend of the dollar at that 11:05 time slot on the 5-minute chart. So SKIN probably deserves a look or two from some small cap traders. Let's go ahead and pull that bad boy up on a trading screen, not skin ho. What's happening over there? All right, Joey, the volume is decent. We've got about 52, 53 almost million shares traded on the day, but we have had these price spikes up before only to come back down into that trading range. I want to bring your attention to that 1010 candle on the 5-minute chart. Price spike up, down we go. How about 1040? Price spike up, topping tail, down we go. So be alive to the characteristic of the name that you're trading. And if it did it once, twice, Obi, he is the one thrice, it could do it a 4th time. So just keep your eye on that. Shout out to my man, Egyptian Cotton. Some of the best cotton in the world, baby. Let's go Egypt. Yes, we are 40 minutes from kickoff. We've got it locked and loaded on the side screen. We're going to keep you guys apprised, of course, of the score. Gabzor. It's not that Sharif Riff doesn't like Rogers. He made a good point yesterday about low Earth orbit satellites. That's why he's saying telecom days are numbered. Brother, Rogers takes a lot of my money constantly, but whether from cable or internet or phone, right? So I have some feelings about them, but that's not why I'm hating, right? Yeah, of course, Katina, man, right? That's not why I'm hating. I just think that they're going to be replaced by a superior technology, and unless they have the money to compete with SpaceX and Blue Origin and Rocket Labs and all the other ASTS as well, then I think that they are in trouble. And I don't think that they have the money. That's just my opinion. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out sooner rather than later. Joey, what are you looking at, brother?
So we got all out of this Tesla, and then we decided to go short the NASDAQ just in case we wanted to breach the low of the day. So I was right about this consolidation turning into an additional leg lower. So that was a hefty move down there. I mean, we didn't put on very many shares there at this level. Good risk to reward as that base was being formed. But now let's see if we're going to head towards the LOD here on the TQQQ. Same thing, we're going to start relatively small. And if the overall market wants to continue to bleed, then we're going to be here to participate. Now, the objective is to head towards this level, 70.90. If we're fortunate enough to get that without it squeezing our face off, then we're rocking and rolling. Now we'll head back over to our watch list and see what we got going on. So Tesla taking that additional leg. We're down 1.3% in NVDA, down to $192. I told you I believe we're going to be able to catch a premium on this of roughly around 170, maybe even a little bit less. 62s even would be prime time. Deion Sanders over there, Sharif. Now, Bitcoin, something that was looking pretty strong over the past couple of sessions. I mean, strong may be a little bit of a stretch, but gap down, starting to fill it now, and it's going opposite the market. We're above the volume-weighted average price at this point, market below, all right? So maybe there's going to be some signs of strength. There's $36 on IBIT. So not a horrible look over there. Now, as for Ethereum, same narrative, guys. What we did have is BMNR was up 13% or so yesterday. So that's a big-time move for this. I mean, big time once again. I got a lot of stretches here today, Sharif. But anyways, aside from that, from a daily, nice strong day, right? So are we going to be able to find a bottom? Is a bottom going to be established? What do we got going on? Like, what do we have going on? Maybe is there a rotation out of some of these tech trades, the memory storage, and then into some crypto? With that being said, when you rotate out of tech, where are you going to fall into? What is JPM up to? We're only up about 1/5%. Nothing crazy, but we're still not too far off of the all-time highs, which isn't bad. And then Walmart, Wally's World over here, a name that I said I believe that there was going to be some form of a bottom. We have a slight gap up this morning on Donald Trump talking about them lowering the price of barbecued goods. I believe Costco did the exact same thing for certain members, that you would go there and you got a nice little discount for the 4th of July, that is.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? If you're going to do it at any time. You're 4.5% off of the lows. Now, what I'm looking at is this volume here and this indecision print is what made me say, hey, maybe this is a temporary bottom and we get some form of a pullback. So Walmart and some of the staples not looking too horrible. We got 0.4% on Costco, and we got 1/3 here, or sorry, 1 1/3 here on Walmart. Procter & Gamble up 2%.
I love this. Big Bobby Top G. I love this. Okay. Listen to this.
I'm listening to Big Bobby.
You probably won't believe me, but I am currently one of 7 people on ESPN knockout bracket that has a perfect bracket. LOL. Are you talking about the World Cup? I'm assuming you're talking about the World Cup, correct? And of course I believe you. Why wouldn't I believe you, right? I mean, to me, it's just, all right. Okay, it is what it is. Fantastic. I hope you win. Is there anything for me? if you
His name's Top G, man.
Top G, my boy. Yeah, World Cup, he says. Fantastic, man. I like it. I didn't quite get it that way. I picked Brazil and Belgium as the sleepers when the Katina man and I were kind of going. So Belgium's still in. Brazil, sorry, Assassino. I know, brother. I know. It's not Assassino's fault, but it is, of course, Ancelotti's fault for not putting on the right people, but it's fine. It's okay. He's an OG. What's that? They asked him that, Katina. Katina is asking me why Alphonso Davies didn't come in on the game or come in the game with Canada. And he was asked that specifically, Katina Man, after the game. And Jesse Marsh asked him, are you 100% to go before the game? He said no. and then he didn't make it into the game. That's according.
He said he didn't want to be burdened by the loss.
Well, he didn't want to be a burden on the team. I'm assuming because he was 100%. Yeah. But it is what it is. All right, guys, let's go. We're in 2 positions at the moment. Skin, we're in at 14. I'm looking at wetting the beak at 17. It just flashed 17s. That is the high of the day, but it didn't clear, so we didn't get the print. But we're also in TVRD. It's doing its little dance with no pants here at 3.5. Let's see if it holds. I'm out below 3.25. I will be adding incrementally into that 10 EMA as well as the volume weighted average price. So we're going to be keeping a close eye out on that. Is that Michael Kors, says Sharif Spender? Yeah, it is, man. You know what? Orange is like in vogue for whatever reason. And I started thinking, why is orange so in play this year? Because a lot of orange at Lulu. I saw some orange at, not like I ever buy anything from Dolce & Gabbana, but I walk by, I can window shop. Swear to God.
Yeah, watch out, dude.
I didn't buy anything, Katina. I don't even have any D&G. The truth, but there's a lot of orange in those in the window there. So I started thinking, I'm like, why is orange so in vogue?
Yeah, why is it?
Why?
The iPhone. You think that's it?
It is exactly it, man.
Great,
it is exactly it.
You know,
because you got to match with your phone.
Selena came up to me the other day and she's like, "Do you think this top is too orange?" Literally over the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Is it Halloween? That's what I would have said.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Anyway, yes, it is. 2 New York cents. I just logged out and I can't believe my eyes. What are you doing trading? Why are you not in front of the TV, buddy? Brother, you know, we have a job over here,
yeah,
right?
Man,
and the executive producers in the building right here. We can't.
You can't be taking too much time out.
Can't be taking too much time out there. Shout out to Brendo, of course. Big boy Bobby Top G. I got Switzerland and Argentina winning today. I'm thinking Colombia is favored over Switzerland. I would have to agree with that. I don't agree with Argentina though. I'm sorry. Right. So we're gonna be cheering for Egypt. But in any event, Joey, we're doing it live here. Okay. We're almost break even here on TVRD, building a position, looking for a bigger move up, looking for a move into the $0.75. Here comes 60s. We've got 57s. Not intending on taking any profits here until the mid 60s, but we'll see if this one can hold up above these levels. What do you got?
Good stuff, man. We're gonna take another attempt here for the long, and we're just going to use our at-bats, right? So we're looking for the breakdown of the NASDAQ, which isn't necessarily happening right now, but there are some prints around the lows that might signal a little bit of a turnaround here. If it pulls back, breaks this pivot, then we just get out of dodge on it, which I kind of getting the hunch, but then it'll give us a much better entry to short off of. So let's see. I mean, the risk to reward is there. So, I mean, I don't love doing this. I'm short the NAS, long Tesla. Typically doesn't go your way, but it is what it is. We'll see what we got cooking up here momentarily and rocking in or rolling on these bad boys. Okay, it's that time already? 11:30. You know what, guys? It's
what happened, Joey?
The new hottest segment out there. We're going to check out the European close with Juan and Adair at the desk.
Time does indeed fly when the markets are having fun, although it hasn't been too much fun for the U.S. markets with a lot of weakness. Now, in our daily 11:30 a.m. Euro close segment, let's see how the European markets were doing. Good morning, Juan. How are you today?
Morning, Adira. So, intro was perfect. I mean, European markets, copycat of European markets, U.S. markets as well. We see that mainly most of the European region closing in the red, especially the region experiencing a huge tech profit-taking and growth portfolio de-risking. I think the UK was the resilient regional outlier. We'll go into some of the indexes right now. Stocks Euro 600 as well as the Euro Stocks 50 down by nearly 0.5%. That's basically off, broad retreat across technology as well as luxury sectors, counted some of that commodity strength. But there was a lot of aggressive liquidations pulling back from yesterday's all-time close for the Euro Stoxx 50, DAX, Germany, they were leading the retreat for the European region. They shed more than 300 points, mainly from tech supplies like Infineon and also high multiple automotive sectors getting hit. But we can see that France, they fought a little bit. They tracked some of the regional average lower, but it still dragged minor industrial consolidation, very quiet luxury demand as well. But yeah, some of the main stories from the region, Of course, we heard about Samsung's stellar financial updates. However, investors pretty much selling the news over near-term cash flow concerns. So that triggered a broad tech de-risking across the entire region. Equipment makers, as well as chip lines, like I mentioned earlier, Infineon, they're all down. One of the biggest hit in Germany was that of Siemens Energy. They were down by about 6% during the session, especially after a downgrade by Barclays to underweight. So a lot of institutional profit taking happening in Frankfurt. But yeah, on the upside, in the UK, defensive consumer sectors, they cushioned the indices. They were up in the green by 0.3%. Shell, Total Energies, all the energy names, they caught a bid. And also some luxury consumer giants such as Louis Vuitton, L'Oreal, and Hermes. They were up by more than, nearly 2%. Most of the sector doing well, so that pulled the UK up into the green. But the rest of the European region, all down based off tech. Not a good sign.
Not a good sign at all. But again, could be some other signs, as you mentioned there, in retail, with these other sectors, much like what we're seeing in the US. Now, we'll have to wait and see what the Asian markets are giving us at 3:30 p.m. when Juan will be right back with me at this desk. Let's go back to the guys.
All right, Joe, just before we get to the super chat, thank you very much, KC526. She does it again. Bro. She's doing it constantly. Anytime she's in the chat, she's doing it live. BYAH, what a rip up here. Beautiful clearing of the volume, weighted average price. And now, knocking on the door of the dollar. There is 98 pennies, 97.63 the high. Trade this one carefully, but it is on the way to the dollar, and it is looking very good. Bro, what are you broing for? Case? But let's shout out my man, Nick Dubb. Nick Dubb, hey Sharif, best of luck today. Do you mind giving me your thoughts on Beam? Absolutely. On the weekly, say less. We got it ready for you. BEAM is the ticker, and it's quite consolidative. Now, these are COVID highs. I don't want to say we needn't concern ourselves with COVID highs, but we should contextualize it, okay? A lot of stocks look like this. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that the market was awfully frothy at the time, right? Especially with all those checks going out everywhere at the time. And Joey's looking at me like, why are you looking at me? Just because we always talk about checks. I like this level right here. This $35 level seems to be a bit of a tough one to close decisively above. I just got to manage my position here, sorry, on what's it called, TVRD. Need to add into the quarter dollar, actually pretty aggressively. There we go. But bringing it back, this $35 area here, hard to close above. You see that it's closed above it back in February of 24. It did it again in March of 25. And it has these tendencies to wick above that $35 level, but very, very tough to actually close above it. So I would say you're looking for a decisive close above that $35 level on a weekly basis, since that's what we're looking at here. But also, I want to point out another positive kind of development. Since the April lows, we have been putting in higher lows. And then more recently, we actually closed above the 200. That blue line is the 200 exponential moving average on the weekly, of course. And we had a lot of trouble closing above that. That all changed on the week of June 15th. We did close above it, and we actually made new area highs into 39. Again, we're having trouble closing above 35. I would be looking for an aggressive $35 close. That would be what I would be looking for there to kind of confirm we've re-established trend, Joe.
Yeah. All right, Casey, you kind soul do not. This person's been in the chat for the past couple of weeks, so we'll get the moderator to take care of that one. But all right, guys, let's see what we got going on. So we're still sorting out the NASDAQ. Tesla doing the exact same thing. It's pretty weak. So what we want to see is a base being formed, and then maybe we'll find somewhat of a rebound here. Now, as for the NASDAQ, we told you we're going to get our out at the break of this pivot. Now, if we do form a lower high, then we can just add into it for that move, and then we'll just remove this, right? We'll partial out of this, and then we'll have the better pricing, first in, first out for our system. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Now, as for some of the other names, Robinhood was on a little bit of a tear. I thought we would run into that $120 mark today. It doesn't seem to be the case as for it's an inside session. You can see with the break of this open, pretty much you rejected 1775, and then you're just stuck in the middle of the range right now. Now, I was looking for a long because there's a lot of buying pressure within the first 20 minutes or so of this within this name, but then it started to form the wedge, and I'm like, uh-oh, okay, that's not looking too good. Just accumulating some shares, and then eventually it broke down, which is totally fine. It's still hovering around the 114s, which it did give up at one point last week. You have that break up into $121, and then eventually fell back down to 110. But we do have a steady uptrend, which is good, and I believe there's just a couple of headwinds within this name that are going to allow it to slowly grind higher and higher. Now, as for Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs over here, we're off of those highs. Now 7% on Goldman Sachs, and then as for Morgan Stanley, only a couple of percentage points, which isn't bad. I don't think this is discount territory, but I was talking about JPM for quite some time just due to the fact that it was lagging some of its peers, and that was back in like the 295s within this consolidation zone right here, and then eventually it got that breakout, and I think we'll just grind higher and higher within some of these bank names. Super strong, and I think if we do get what I do believe is that a rotation, you're going to find where the money is going. So NASA, this ETF has been getting absolutely destroyed. Now, remember when I was talking about it, this was holding preferred. Now those preferred didn't switch to common shares. It's just cash now, I believe, or American bonds. And I was telling Sharif, be cautious. When you're buying ETFs like MAGs, the MAG 7 ETF, I'll pull it up right here. It's 55% bond, right? So, MAGs. So this is 55% bonds, and then the rest of it, I'll actually just pull it up so you guys can see what we got going on here. Oh, it's already up there. 60% fixed income, Sharif, just to add a little icing on that cake. And then 3.5% is NVDA, Apple, 3.5%, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta. And these three have not been performing well whatsoever. So there it is, the majority of this holding falling up into corporate bonds, and then also a very, very small percentage of it. NVDA is 2.9%. Why is it on there? What's the TRS, Sharif?
TRS?
Yeah.
NVIDIA Corp TRS?
I feel like this is,
there's really there's two NVIDIA.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So this has to be like
Good question, Joe.
I'm not going to say a preferred, but maybe like some form of cash or cash equivalent.
Let me see.
We'll figure that out here momentarily, but non-classified, non-equity, that's where the cash is going to
total return. TRS refers to total return. But he has a, okay.
Oh, you know what it might be? No, actually, no. I was going to say it might be the covered call strategy, the fixed income thing. But I could be totally wrong on that. We'll figure that out here. I'm sure the treasuries maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking on that one as well, too. So just be cautious, guys. When you're buying these names, you have to really look into the holdings. And it is QTUM. This is the quantum ETF. I don't know why it's called the quantum ETF, but look at the holdings. ARQQ, okay, I think this is new to it. Horizon, okay, things are changing. A-Lab on that applied materials, I don't know what that's on there. But I mean, the majority of its holdings, the higher weighted ones at one point were Intel, Micron, and a couple of other names. So you really have to do your due diligence. Like Lam Research is on here.
Ram Research?
Ram Research. Lam Research is but yeah, other than that, guys, when you're looking into some of these ETFs, you just really have to make sure you're aware of the holdings of them.
Total return swap says dawning oblivion. That's what I was understanding. It said over here, TR just means total return. Okay, and then there it is. However, if it's TRS with typo for leveraged inverse ETF, the market features options like 2 times long NVDX. No, that's not it. Maybe? I don't know. That's a good question, though.
Oh, long. So total return swaps. So like long-term shorts.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is interesting.
All right, TVRD treating me badly. We're defending into the volume-weighted average price. I stop out below mid-single digits. Here's the quarter dollar. It doesn't look like this one's going to hold up. If it does, fantastic. We're long at 339. It's showing me 26s. So trouble in TVRD/Sharif land here, all right? I did go over Beam, Nick. Go back and watch it. I went through an entire thing. I gave you my levels on the weekly, $35, key area of resistance. It needs to clear that decisively. Just rewind, Nick. I did go through it. All right, So TVRD, a problem for me at the moment. I stop out, as I mentioned, below the mid-single double digits. Now, SKIN, undecisive, but this is an area I'm interested in adding in. In fact, I had it at 107s. Going to go ahead and add here. And then also CLRO. I was watching this one for possible retaking of 11. Doesn't look like it's immediately going to do that. It's having trouble with 10.5. Now, this also is a bit spready, about 7 pennies, give or take, now tightening up to about 5, but it does get wide at times, okay? So be on the lookout for CLRO. And then I'm watching the KC 526 special. So it rejects the dollar, fine, right? That's normal for these small cap gappers. Comes back in, tests VWAP right around 83, 84 pennies, and now is trying to make yet another attempt here at that dollar area. So prior bar low on this one is 82 pennies. Let's go ahead. We're just going to stop out below that level, 81. We'll give it to 79, lest there be some issue there. So we're looking for that one to bounce back, maybe test that 102 area. We'll stop out below area low over here on BYAH. But I'm also interested in CLRO, as I mentioned. We'll see how that cookie crumbles. But it's TVRD that I have shares in. And this one, I need to see how this one's going to resolve. Because right now, Joe, I got to tell you the truth. Yeah. It is not looking like it's going my way. And I'm out. Bang. I got stopped out of TVRD. As it does lose VWAP, that will be a loser for me. So we'll look to reset here on some other names. Because TVRD, at least for the moment, for me, not tradable as it breaks down substantially below the volume weighted average price on the way to the whole dollar here. $3 incoming, Joey.
Good stuff, man. All right. I know the kind ladies behind us do this, but we like to see from a percentage metric what we got going on. Now, all right. Well, that's never a good sign there. Hold on, give me a second. So, all right, healthcare at the top of the list today. Sharif from the top performing sectors. XLV. All right. So what do we got here, guys? The top performing sectors of the day. Healthcare, 1.7%. We have real estate at 1.6%. Energy up 1.6%. We'll take a look at XLRE and XLV momentarily. And then we have the staples up 1%. Oh, who's at the bottom of the barrel today?
Who?
You guessed it. It is the tech sector. Down 3%. Industrial. Yeah, we need that one. Where's Fabian? I need that.
That's a rune.
I need that. I need that. Animation. 2.6% to the downside here in industrials, and basic materials down 1%. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the sectors are green, while 4 of them are red there, Sharif. So a little bit tougher of a look. Now we went from extreme greed to a little bit of fear in the span of a couple of weeks, ladies and gentlemen. So just be cautious on what we got going on. Again, I'm in the camp of this is a good opportunity to slowly start dabbling in some names that are down 20+%. So, Sharif's, okay, that's an interesting one. But yeah, anyways, aside from that, should I read it? Bro, whoa, we're not reading that, man. Oh, okay, there, you gotta read it a little bit more. Damn.
Damn, is that what I'm gonna look like, man?
Yeah, that's not bad though, man. That's not bad.
No, man. Is that actually it? So let's just end it now, man. Now I know what I'm going to look like. What? We're good to go.
That's crazy.
What is happening? Sharif. He's Canadian, too. I like it. Before I marry my daughter off to you, I need to know if you can speak our people's language. Can you say Egypt will win today in Mandarin? No, I can't. No, I actually can't. Because I don't know it. That's why. Win. I don't even know how to say win in Mandarin. I don't. Not yet, anyway.
Can you say player?
Player?
Yeah.
No. No, I don't know that one either. Yeah, it sucks. I'll figure it out. Little by little. Full disclosure, we lost our 165-day streak on the vacation there.
Oh, what happened? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went on vacation. That's
what happens.
Huh? Ying? Tiffany, are you Cantonese or Mandarin? Cantonese, okay, but there's a lot of overlap, so yeah, okay. All right, well, there you go. It's Ying. How to say player.
Guitar says the arranged marriage is off now.
Sorry.
That's crazy.
All right, man. Shout out to you guys are hilarious, man. Love you guys. Man, never change the chat. Just don't ever change. You guys are jokes. Hopefully I will learn, man. Wan is Ying. Okay, all right. Cantonese is Yang, says Calvin. Cool, all right. That's good to know. But yeah, no, I don't know how to say any of those words, funny enough. I know how to say exercise and sport and stuff like that. Yundong. I know how to say different sports like Dalan or Lancio, Paiqiu, Zouqiu, Wangqiu, Bangqiu, right? Those are all different sports in Mandarin, of course, but I don't know how to say play. Funny. No, I actually do know how to da. So it's Dalanxiu, it's Dawangxiu, it's Dapaiqiu. It's only when you say soccer though, it's Tizouqiu. I don't know why soccer is a bit of an exception there, but that's
good stuff, man. Can't buy a W.
All right, Joey, what are you looking at, man? Because I'm involved here in a couple of trades.
All right, well, we tried the short. It broke down a little bit, didn't head towards the day, and then it just came back towards that pivot where we told you we were going to get out. Now SpaceX starting to climb a little bit. Let's dabble a little bit in this bad boy, see if we can get rocking and rolling. Summertime with SpaceX for some form of a rebound and get what we got going. Yeah, NVDA moving up, someone stating. We can take a look at that momentarily. We can re-engage in the short momentarily as well here on the TQQs. But with that big boy, if NVDA decides that it wants to go on a little bit of a jaunt, then by all means, it's not something that you want to stand in front of, and that is what I'm referring to, is the NASDAQ watch list. Let's see what we got going on. It better be moving. All right, 193. Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Good call out. It is now breaking through the high of the day, so it's a good time to get out of the NASDAQ here. So, yeah, definitely a tougher start. So I'm just relaxing. We have this one position on, and then...
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, just playing some back
pretty slow start for me over on Monday and Tuesday. So, yeah, I mean, hey, got to lock right back in and find some good opportunities.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, I saved myself there. I was looking a little bad there, and then I'm like, oh, I actually know some of these words. Okay. Here we go. Big breakout here. KC, what are you doing with BYAH? Because we got your girl over here at 93 pennies, and she's knocking on $1 again. So we have to wet the beak there super quick, right at 98 and change. But are we going to get a third rejection of that dollar on BYAH? Come on now. We need this one to break and hold above the dollar. Of course, it is a 102 high. This current 5-minute candle, though, has a $1 high. So it is 2 lower highs in a row, with that 102 being the intraday high. And then we have the next candle is 101, and this current candle is 1. So we are putting in lower high, lower high, lower high, and we're a little worried about this one losing trend. So be on the lookout for that. But there's one again. Can we outdo the short sellers? We'll have to wait and see. We're going to wet the beak there at 99s. One showing up again. No continuity, though, through that whole dollar level on BYAH. I'm also holding skin. We're taking some prints on this one. Added nicely into a technical level at 1. Let's wet the beak at 16s over here. We'll see what we get. We won't get upset. Shout out to my man Neil, who's back in the house. Casey's in at 83. Love it, Case, right at the volume weighted average price. Very typically you. Sharif, I've been meaning to thank you guys for all the knowledge. This YouTube is like an alt, LOL, hence the stupid name. I've been investing since 15 years old. I'm only 20 now. I love to hear it, brother. If I could go back and do some stuff from my younger days, one of them certainly would be time in the market, especially at an early age. You're so smart. Good for you. I feel like the newer generation, they've been set up with a bit of a tougher kind of environment. Everything's expensive. Homes are out of reach for a lot of them. But I see a lot of ambition in the younger generation that I don't see in mine. And I love that. I see you guys at the gym way more than I would see my generation at the gym. And I was one of the few that was actually hitting the gym at that age. You guys are doing it live. You're doing it better. Stick with it, man. I love to hear it, Joey.
All right, man. Good. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, yesterday was a whole lot of green. Today is kind of the opposite, a whole lot of red. ASML down 4%, Lam Research down 7%, AMAT down 8%. Oh, Applied Materials. Michael Burry is absolutely cleaning shop. Wow, what a gap down this morning on Applied Materials, down 26% now off of the highs. So keep an eye out on that, guys. It's getting pretty ugly. what's getting really ugly is that SpaceX isn't going. We go short here, it rips up against us. And I know, Sharif, I know you say,
yes, sir.
Well, you'll accept. Neil says we won't get upset. I'm getting upset over here.
No, but emotions cloud judgment.
Yeah, well,
that's a fact.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
well
you don't want your judgment
it works
to be
on
cloud
both.
here.
Well, it's a lot easier said than done, my boy. Because SpaceX, something that is not working for us here, looks like it was going to curl over. Not doing so. If it cracks the lower end of this, $150. And then we get out of Dodge and we find something. I appreciate that, Jack of Art. I'm only messing around when I say that thing, kind of, sort of. Anyways, Ethereum's strong, right? Like if we head over to the crypto space, that's where you're going to find a little bit of strength, even though I'm looking deeper into it. You have Coinbase down 2%, BMNR down 1 3/4. But hey, at least Ethereum's up 1/10%. Say, hey, Sharif, hey, man.
No, man, I'm going to hate on it until I'm in the money, which may never be.
It's going to take a long
a $55 cost base.
Damn.
Yeah. It's actually quite comical.
Would you buy some more down here or no?
No. And I've answered that question before, and I said, because it hasn't given me a reason.
Okay, because Give
me a change in trend. Give me a reason. You know what I mean?
What was the reason?
What's the reason?
Is the real question.
The reason was I don't want to blame you or anything, Joey, but
no, bro. Yo, hold on. Okay, let's get right into this. I know, hit the crickets. We're gonna get real deep before Sharif goes on with his thing. I'm like, oh, hey, look at this.
See what he did, Randy? No. He got me into BMNR, and now I can't get out.
I'm like, all right. I'm like, hey,
Randy doesn't give a crap.
I don't know where the wedge is, Sharif, because things are looking awfully different now.
Yeah, you remember those higher lows right there.
It was this one here?
So the higher lows, on those pumps. Those are lower highs.
Okay,
higher lows.
Oh, here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this looks like a wedge. Are we going to find somewhat of a rebound here? She's like, I'm in it, man. I'm like, all right, bang, and there we go, bang, Tank City after that on BMNR, man. Tom Lee. Hey,
I'm out of the money now again on IBIT, by the way.
You got to fund the yacht. So am I. Because I bought a lot more on the way up, but then again, I reduced my exposure. I had to cash a lot in because it was just getting too big in my portfolio. So I'm fortunate to be in the camp of when I was selling in the 50s, but then I also offloaded some in the 40s and in the higher 30s too, guys.
She's doing full disclosure. Again, man.
Okay, so yeah, she's already dished out 10.
Doing it live,
another
man.
5 spot right there. Thank you very much, Casey.
She's getting a lot of comments on her new profile picture there. I saw from some of the gentlemen.
What, on Instagram?
In the chat. No, on her picture right there. They seem to be quite enamored with your new picture there.
I mean, in the most respectful way.
Of course.
How could you not?
Always.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. All right. We're taking some prints here, guys, on skin as it gets back into the area high. SKIN.
Oh, it's summer, Casey. That's why.
And another piece of the puzzle falls into place. Get it, Case. All right, so we're watching skin, looking for a 1 1/4. I feel like we're possibly flat top breakish candidate here on SKIN with an accumulation in the mid to high teens, 115, 116, 117, and around that area. So looking for a bigger move up. It's also finding support at the 10 EMA on the 5. That's positive for me. Holding structure, and by that I mean the prior area of resistance, which very clearly here on the 1-minute chart is showing you $1.10 is where we added, and it held on a strict basis, funny enough. That's the good news. The bad news is that seller in the mid-teens here is putting, a damper on everybody's long party. So SKIN in focus. We're also holding here for BYAH for a possible breach of $1. Now it has breached the dollar on a wick basis into 102, but it had no continuity through that. We've built a decent position here in the 93, but by no means out of the risk area is what I'm trying to say ineloquently over here. But I'm going to continue to watch this one. But hey, if you were biased that BYAH spikes above the dollar, but you also have reservations on its ability to close above the dollar, then take advantage of the resting order, parameters on your platform there. Throw in some what I call beak wetters above the area high, right? In order to possibly get the print if this one does spike up on a wick basis but doesn't end up closing there, right? take advantage of that. That's exactly what I'm doing there. And I think I just put in a couple of orders at the same area. So we got to take those ones out, Assassino. And we're going to put in, we're going to put in there. All right. They call me Reef.
Yeah, you should.
Actually, they did used to call me Reef. And oh my days.
I can get behind that look.
Neil, what do you think, Neil?
What
do you think, Neil? Should I get a grill and get a sleeve tat?
Yeah, double
that'd be pretty
eyebrow,
sick.
yeah.
I'm gonna save this picture. I like this picture. Save image as. There we go.
Gangster.
All right, thoughts on where we're headed with NBIS? Thanks, dog. All right, let's take a look at Nebius.
I like the shirt too.
Yeah, it's not bad, Joey. I should start wearing, these undershirts and stuff under my dress shirts.
Yeah.
It gives me, some street cred there.
Just make you a little bit more.
A little
warm.
Yeah. Well, I'm already excessively warm. NBIS. Let's take a quick look to see what Nebius Group is doing these days. What do we at? NeoCloud, of course. We know Nebius. Similar to CoreWeave, right? Now, obviously competing with some of the big names, including X, AI, and soon to be Meta. Look, broke down below the 50. That displeases me. But the fact of the matter is, we're hanging around the $200 level. So I wouldn't want to say, we're right about to give that 200. We're below it right now, trading at 199.26, but the high of the day is 207.52. So I'd be looking for a decisive close below $200, and I'll be looking on it a weekly basis, not the daily, because I feel like there's going to be noise intra-week. So 200, you lose 200, you're in trouble. You lose that $200 your level, you're in trouble. You're likely headed to 170. That's the next area I perceive to be a good area of support. Case in point, look at this. 170 over here, multiple day resistance. Then funny enough, we get a breach and all of a sudden, it's the key support level we can't break below. So 170 if 200 fails decisively. Thank you. They call me Reef for the $2 super chat. Lele dropping 10 in the chat. One for Sharif. Check out ICE. For Joey, Palantir, and XLV. I got a knot to spend this afternoon.
Oh, man, those knots are, yeah, you did.
What does a knot mean?
I don't know, maybe like an itch, maybe?
Oh, okay,
yeah,
all right.
That's how I took it.
All right, respect that.
But it could be a knot like $1,000, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I figured it was slang or for something. I don't know.
To spend, all right. I mean, if you're feeling a little.
Well, she's making money now, Joey. She told us how much she was making yesterday.
I know. So,
look, Lele, I like this. I don't like the prolonged downtrend that we've been on since the August of last year. So it's almost a year of lower highs. So there is that trouble. Also, we've been putting in lower lows locally over here. But what I do like is this aggressive bounce off, I want to say 125 and back into 140. Now, you're going to need to see a little bit more, Lele, in order to kind of regain trend. First and foremost, you're going to need to get above, I would say, 145. Once, twice, and then OBE is the one thrice. We lost 145 over here back in early June. But it was a key area of technical support multiple times before the loss. So 145, a clearing above that, I think probably reignites the trend. And then you're looking at 155, Lele, because that is the 200 exponential. I think you probably see a little bit of resistance there. But yeah, ICE, what is this company? Intercontinental Exchange, 77, almost $78 billion market cap, financial tech data service across major asset class, customer access workflow tools, increasing transparency, efficiency. Exchange segment operates regulated market. Oh, ICE, the people that we get our data off. How did I not know that? All our data here is coming from ICE, by the way, so I should have been more alive to that. Joe, go ahead.
All right, man, let's head over. Yeah, Palantir was on the list. I believe we can pop that up one more time. I think she had another name. So, I mean, that's 5 straight days in a row to the top side here in PLTR. So a nice little recovery, guys, especially with the stock that's been cut in half. What's beginning cut in half here is SpaceX, as it looks like it wants to take a little bit of a leg lower. We did have a pop-up into 152, but we're not going to complain about this. Now, you want to head over into the bigger picture and the larger time frame, and I like what Sharif was talking about. Is like it needs to be shown something in order for him to kind of add into his position. And I think that's what you want to look for in some of these names that might be slightly overdone. Okay. So, I mean, here's Palantir. Is this a reason? I don't know. The volume is pretty weak as we break through this trend line, you want it to hold without any question before you really re-engage. Now, you go on a big-time run. We're not going to complain about this, but then, unfortunately, you do, off of those highs, pull back 50%. Could be a good buying opportunity, and we know how Alex Karp feels about Altman and Dario as of late, so he's not too happy with them. Kind of calling BS on it all, but hey, nonetheless, we all know how Alex Karp can get as well. But all right, guys, it's that noon hour. Let's send it off to Sia. What's happening now?
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a look at the three major averages and what they're doing before we dive into what is happening now. We have all the three major averages currently sliding into the red. We have the SPY down 0.54%. The triple Qs are down, inching closer to 2%, and the Dow down 0.35%, with the IWM down again, inching close to 8%. Let's take a look at what we're talking today. Let's talk about oil first. USO. So oil prices have, as we do know it, risen today. Energy being one of the strongest sectors on the board after Iran has attacked a tanker from Qatar and near the Strait of Hormuz. So the attack has reaffirmed the fragility of the U.S. and Iran's interim peace agreement there, as we do know it, continuing to come to the final permanent end of the war. Brent last seen trading 2.4% higher at $73.75 per barrel, and WTI futures as well advanced 2.3% to $70.13. So USO is currently up 2.5% on the day. I was going to take a look at Apple. So JPM has reiterated an overweight rating for Apple, raised the price target to $345 from $325 to account for the price elasticity of demand. So JPM analyst Samik Chatterjee has said in a note that we believe there are several drivers to lead the revenue and earnings outcome to be much more favorable than currently feared by investors. And with that, Apple is trading flat at the moment, but we're going to go to Neil because he has the lesson for you for the day.
Thank you, Sia. As something's kicking off right about now. I don't know if you might have noticed Sharif. Obviously, Argentina and Egypt about to kick off, and you know the thing about sports and in trading is you can absolutely dominate. You can see one squad dominate the time possession, completely dominate shots on goal, scoring chances. This happens in all kinds of sports. But the ability to, in football or soccer, it's finish is what ends up winning the game for you. Like you could have 10 shots on goal, but if you're not finishing and you're not the team that's finishing, you don't really come away with much of anything. So you can dominate on the pitch, but you can still end up losing the match because you simply don't finish. In trading, the equivalent to that is getting all of your directional calls right, or you're getting pretty decent entry prices, or whatever it might be. You're making decisions in the right spot, but just like the execution is it's just not spot on. And I think what you got to do on days like that, which if you're looking at the buy the dip today, I'm not going to pretend it was anything but that. You know, like I look at something like an IBIT today, like where I was getting the long, even when I did have a long that eventually like worked on it, like a couple of bounces long, eventually get stopped out at the absolute point of the turn, right? So in the midst of the morning weakness, did I pick something that I liked long that was relatively strong? Yeah. And did it work out? Absolutely not. Now I can go over and say, yeah, but you got Hood okay over there. So that was positive. But even when I look over at, say, a Robinhood, it was good. The early entry points, when I look at it in the higher time frame, you're not doing any better with that open. I did miss one dip buy, but even the timing of the entry didn't quite get close enough to the bottom. And that's where it comes like the finishing. Like you can hit one that just finds the back of the net because the goalie slipped on a banana peel, but you missed your spot. Like you still got to win, but you've got to be a bit more critical. But I think what you have to try to do to get better is when you're looking at the things that went absolutely the worst or like wrong to the largest degree, which would be me getting out at the bottom here at IBIT. What do you take from that so that tomorrow or the next time you get that set up, you can find a way to execute better? Now, the simple answer here, which I already know for myself, and it's not the same for everybody, if you're a day trader who's like a prop and you can trade 1 million trades a day, as many as I want, it's simply once I'm bottom wick like this, you've got to jump back in the trade. If the overall structure of the idea is this is the key price level, like the prior day resistance and then kind of a breakout in the afternoon, if that's the turn that I'm stopping out underneath, when it immediately reestablishes on that time, I've got to get back into it. Now, maybe you can't find it on the 15. Maybe that's where I start looking at, well, was it more clear in a time frame that I'm not using? And I'm just going to pop to a 5-minute, because while I was in London, I met up with Adam Deleuze, and one of the things we talked about was looking at multiple time frames to try to improve some entries and exit points. And on the 5-minute, it was very, look at the bottoming tail wick, look at that nice little hold. There's your entry right here on a 5-minute. You're wicked out. That's 5 or 6 minutes to calm down and simply reload and get back into the trade. And that's what trading about. Like, you can look at that and say, oh, look at me. I absolutely failed on IBIT today. It's a red stock, I stink. Or I can say to myself, well, the thesis was correct. You know, we had the correct strategy. We got the man open. We just didn't bury the shot. We shanked it. So what? You got a lot of it right. And the next time you want to still create the same situation. That's what it's about. You've got to try to create the same situation for yourself and just execute better. And in this particular case, I think I found something that looked okay on a 15-minute, but actually gave a better entry on the 5 if I'm being patient. And that's one of the things you got to start to incorporate. If something that you're buying into is weak and downtrending, maybe you've got to look a different time frame or a different indicator to try to be a bit more patient to get in, or a different reason to get that bottoming tail wick. Because if you just take every bottoming tail on a 1-minute, you're going to get destroyed on the way down. But if you get it on a higher time frame, it can be a little bit better. So oftentimes, like sports, trading, poker, whatever it might be, one of the key aspects to finding any level of consistency, being profitable, winning, whatever measure you're looking for in what it is that you're playing, you have to keep in mind that you can't be resulting, which is the result is the end of your analysis. There are times where IBIT stunk today, but when I look back, it was still my best opportunity. So therefore, it's the most important thing for me to get right the next time. Because I look at it in the way that, okay, the call was dead on. I'm making the decision at the right spot. I was looking to execute off the right area in the right direction, but we just fumbled not getting back into the trade. I'm going to stop out here. It's going to happen. I'm not holding it forever. That's one thing I consider a strength. I'm never going to sit there holding it forever and let something ruin a week. Might have a bad day on it, but I'll never ruin a week on trades like that unless I'm just not sitting here or my keys don't work. I'm always going to limit the loss, but I've got to be able to get back in. And in this case, we'll simply, let's pop to a higher time frame after we get wicked out, get a little bit more patient with the entry so that we're not taking too many trades off our area, but we're giving every chance for it to work. And that's what trading is all about. It's about simply getting better based on the information that the market gives you. And you're going to get a lot of good information on your losing trades, especially the ones where the thesis was right and it was really just the execution that got wrong. Those are your best chances to improve. Not where you were just like, oh, I was trying to make a long in a stock that was only going down. There's not much you can do with that. You just limit the loss in that particular case. But if it was just simply a quick little execution fix, those are the ones that you got to double down on and do that analysis to see what you can get right the next time. And then hopefully you'll have better luck in the future. So like in sports, you got to learn from your mistakes, everybody. And I will say it, even though I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to win. Let's say good luck for Sharif in Egypt, because I don't have a dog in the fight here. Although, I back England after Canada's out, so they're obviously doing just fine. I know you do too as well, but yeah, good luck to Egypt. They're going to have to make sure they capitalize on their opportunities in a match like today.
You all right? Oh, it's like, what's going on? I was like, what's happened? Did something happen? Did they score? Is my feed delayed? Oh, you're cheering for Argentina? Okay, well we're not going to speak anymore.
Oh.
I'm just joking. No, see ya. All right, guys. Watching SKIN. By the way, got stopped out of CLRO. That one did lose trend. I was insistent that this one hold $11. It didn't. So we got stopped out of that one. Not before, though, taking some beak wetters into that 11.25. But it did fail that level. So unless it gets back above 11.5 and shows me a little bit of a different look, we're going to steer clear of this one. Also, BYAH lost a little bit on the last remaining amount here, but I had taken the majority out in front of $11. So this one ends up being positive. But the only trade we got on right now, Joey, is one that is a little bit indecisive as to where this bad boy is headed. SKIN trying to hold a $1.10.
So I'm just counting things. All right. Hey, all right, guys. Let's see what we got going on here. I mean, there it goes right back to the top side. So we'll be patient and see if anything else comes into play. I know someone was mentioning, what's NVDA doing? Hey, we'll take it, right? Like, I mean, at this point, looks like a pretty good, solid buy program. I haven't seen Gorba Los Pollos in the chat today. I hope you guys are having a pretty good day. But a nice little session so far for this some chop. Holds up at the support levels at that 191 and then bang off to the races up to 195. Now, the really big question for me is, can we hold this, or is it more or less just a breath within this trend? So what I would want to see in order for me to get a little bit more confirmation is a backside move. So we'd have a daily candle open up and then some strong price action following that. All right, let's head over to our options chain. I know we look at it often. Well, maybe not enough, to be honest with you, but here it is at that 190 marker. Is there going to be a base being formed on this bad boy at that level? Nothing crazy. Look how cool the options activity is on this compared to what we used to see a year or so ago. I mean, hey, man, 575 contracts. I never would have expected that whatsoever, but there is a lot of concentration into the higher levels here, 58,000, 67,000 at 205, and then 45,000 at 210. So, hey, interesting stuff on this one. And then SpaceX hitting the top volume. I believe it was the 4th or 5th from an option standpoint, open and close contract on yesterday's session. 14,000 contracts there, still currently open, but there is 14,000 closed at 160. So maybe acting as some overhead resistance. Sharif, I heard you mention something there.
Yeah, man, it was almost 1-0.
For Argentina?
Yeah, but they ended up being offside. They missed the opportunity too, but it was offside. I thought it was a certain 1-0.
Who
Rodrigo de Paul to I forget the guy's name. Is that not Pedro Porro? I forget his name. But it was DePaul to some other guy. All right, SkyQ looking good. KC 526 special, not bad here. A bit of a range, so there's resistance at 70. So I'm building a position into this 165 initially, but I'm willing to add all the way down into 50. Here is 70 showing up. We'll wet the beak there, and then we'll look for 75 next. But I do have intentions of adding into this one all at key levels. So I'm just gonna, man, oh man, I made a mistake there. My bad. We'll just get back in here. And then we'll look to pick up some more at key levels. So we'll just throw those on. I made a bit of a boo-boo, all good. So we'll throw those on. Give me one sec, Joey. There we go. And then we'll look to buy a little bit more into the $0.50. We'll see if we can get some in and around there. Still holding my position though on skin. Picked up some there off that bottom wick. I had a resting order waiting at 107, showing me 111s now, but not immediately moving up. So yeah, guys, I gotta tell you, man, the pickings are slim. We kind of knew that though, right from the pre-market. So when I sat down, usually my scanner is at least 3/4 of the way full. Like, so say down to like right over here. This morning, there was maybe like 10 lines max. So I knew that the trading was gonna be a little bit light. That's typically kind of how you know ahead of time what the situation is gonna be. But hey, we'll trade what's in front of us. And right now, I'm seeing CLRO trying to make yet another move above 11. Now, if this one gets above 11.25, we could have a dalliance with this one, because I don't know, man. See, that's the thing. I always harp on these one being bull traps, right? Prolonged downtrends into the volume weighted average price, and then they lure you with a bigger move up. The problem is this one isn't luring you with a bigger move up. It's a steady state trend here. It's not 1 or 2 candles that's popping off the volume weighted average price and pulling in the longs. So I'm seeing a bit of a different look here on CLRO, which is why I'm still interested in it, despite the fact, that I usually don't like these ones. So we're going to continue to watch that, see what it has to offer in terms of a break above 11.25. But the prior area high where I wet the beak there, that's a 12 o'clock candle. The high of that candle was 11.22. So by definition, I'm looking for a clearing of 11.25, right? And a closing above 11.25. As you can see, though, it's already engaging with some resistance here right at $11. Unsurprised by that, as this $11 level has been a bit of a tough level to clear. So up 57%, Joey. Not bad, but not the greatest.
All right, man. Good stuff. Let's see what we got going on. With some other names. I mean, listen, this was a mistake on my behalf. Obviously, I like what Neil was talking about. You just got to learn from him. I knew what was going on. It's better when you're in this consolidation, it's just to post up at the lower end of the range because it just drastically increases your risk to reward. I talk about this all the time. So imagine if I was posted up at 151 ROM right here, and then sure enough, you get this move. It doesn't stop you out because you have a much tighter risk to reward. You can give yourself a tighter out, but then right at the lower end of the range, this is where you get caught in some drops. So learn from those mistakes. Don't buy breakouts in these, right, unless you have the volume supporting the move. And I talk about it all the time. With that being said, I'm tempted to just buy it one more time. But what we don't have is volume stepping in right now to support this breakout. Now, I understand that.
Get it, Joey.
I understand. Wow. Okay. Wow. We haven't. Yeah. Let's just see. Yeah. Wow.
Well done, SSC.
Yeah. One more time. There
goes CLRO, Joey. We're in at 07s.
There goes NVDA.
All right.
You're just going from negative to positive, as Biggie once said.
Hold on. 1-0. Boom. 1-0 Egypt.
Relax.
Yes, bro. No, I'm not going to relax, man. No. Absolutely 1-0 to Egypt. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on, man. We need this dub. Let's go. Sorry, Argentina. Come on, guys. Let's go.
One of two African countries, they're one cheering you up. Let's send it up.
Calm down, guy. Come on, man. We're going to see you.
Thank you. Well, let's take a look at what the small cap's doing right now. The IWM currently down 0.59%. We're going to take a look at 3 individual tickers today. We have Vishay Intertechnology down almost 9.5% on the day. Vishay Intertechnology's notified holders that its 2.25% convertible senior notes that are due in 2030 are convertible during the quarter ending 3rd of October of this year, 2026. We have SKWD, Skyward Spec Insurance, up almost 4% on the day. Just analyst commentary saying Skyward Spec Insurance price target has been raised to $68 per share from $55 per share by Piper Sandler. And finally, RARE, R-A-R-E, Ultragenyx Pharmaceuticals inching up almost 7% on the day. This is just in 2 minutes ago. Ultragenyx Pharma price target has been raised to $40 per share from $35 per share from RBC Capital. Sending it right back to you.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
Oh, that's mad disrespectful, man.
Boom! Shout out the Chosen one.
Yeah.
I like that, actually. That's actually pretty smart.
I get that one.
The Chosen one, the Chosen one.
But look at the profile picture that he gave me.
Okay, bro, but like he trolls everybody, though.
Can't have it all.
I was just...
You got the gangster one. At least give me that one at least.
Oh, my days. Sharif, you need to relax. I'm trying to trade, bro. My bad, man. I suck. There we go, guys. Yes, I do see it, man. I am watching the game. It is on the side screen. Obviously, can't put it on for copyright reasons, but we'll keep you guys apprised of the score, the time. It is 16 and a fifth minutes. But while we do that, we're doing this as well, Assassino. We're taking prints here on CLRO. Into the high it goes. Looking for a break of the $0.50 here on CLRO. And I'm going to have to stop my trade here on SKIN sooner rather than later because it is into that $1 area. If it loses this area, I'm going to have to give it a little bit of room here on that. There we go. So we'll look to see if it holds up at the dollar. And then last but not least, we're trying to build a position here into SkyQ. And yes, there we go. Got a couple of ads there. So now we're waiting for a possible move down here on SkyQ into that 250 area. That is the volume weighted average price. That's the price I'm looking for to build a position. But we're doing well here on CLRO. Let's see how this continues to do, Joey.
Let's pull something up because I have a hunch that there's something going on here with this name. So we're going to figure out momentarily what we have here. That's huge, man. That's really big.
Bro,
plus
it's
1,000.
super early.
Plus 1,000.
Early.
What's possession looking like on that bad boy?
I don't even know yet, Joey. I can't even look now.
I'm trying to find something because I feel like there's might be, aside from a buy program, I mean, we were down 1.3% at one point, and then now we're actually positive on NVDA. So let's see if there's any form of catalyst fueling this fire. For some reason, it falls again the AI chip. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything right this given second. Maybe Adara's got something for us. But yeah, I mean, it's helped dragging the NASDAQ up. You're up 0.5%, going down from 1.5% closer to 2%. Google turning positive. SpaceX down 5% and Microsoft down, up 1.9%. Send it to Adara.
I want to mention involves one of the companies Joe just mentioned, that's MSFT, Microsoft. Nothing massive here, I guess a little bit of a pop higher, but seeing that the company will be replacing OpenAI and Anthropic with its own AI in certain Microsoft apps. Now let's talk here about USO. Not much of a move here. We're still near intraday highs, and we're getting some comments from Iran's Press TV. Iran's Press TV citing Iranian officials saying that, quote, traffic in the Strait of Hormuz is conducted in accordance with Iran's arrangement. They're further saying that anything that they view as, quote, provocative action from the U.S. will, quote, be met with immediate and decisive response. So there's like some more threats here with regards to the Strait of Hormuz coming from Iran. Back to you.
Penalty for Argentina. Yeah, let's see if this is clean or not. It looks clean to me. It looks clean to me. Yeah, that's a penalty. That's going to get upheld. So we'll see exactly what. Let me see. Yeah, that's definitely a penalty. No, I don't know, bro. The Egyptian goalkeeper didn't save any penalties in the shootout with Australia. It's the Australian guys who lost to the shots, but I'm not holding my breath here for a shot stop, but that's the way it is. Get it, Ozan? Why are you saying that, Ozan? It's kind of the opposite of that right now. Guys, CLRO losing $11 again, but this could be a buy off the 10 EMA into 88. So I want to see whether this is going to dip into 88 or not. It's defending 11 here, but it did breach prior bar low. So that forced me out of the trade. So I had to get out of that, but if it comes into 88, holds up, we'll get right back into that one. So continuing to watch that. SkyQ, SKIN, Messi, 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 Messi. Let's go. Messi. Here we go. Save! Boom!
Wow!
Boom. What a save. There we go. My days. Oh, my days.
It's over.
Over. No, it's not over at all. But there's a save. Sorry, Lionel. But there it is.
Whoa, and you got a yellow card though.
No, hold on. They gave a yellow card to the bench for overreacting to the foul. I think is that a German referee? I'm pretty sure he's German. He's either German or Dutch. I remember him from the Champions League. Let's find out real quick.
What is going on here? I know
Francois. He's probably Belgian. Yeah, well, whatever.
What a save, man.
All right. Mohamed Choubair, bro. His dad was a main goalie for the Egyptian national team as well. So like father, like son.
Like father, like son.
There you go. What are you looking at?
Was this the first time them making it to the round of 8? I know this is still
16.
This is 16, but if they win, is it the first time that they'll make it to a round of 8?
How about I just give you a different fact, and then you can kind of deduce that. They didn't win a World Cup game until this World Cup.
Really?
Yeah.
So like Canada?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
There it is, man. All right, man. All right, Joey, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at NVDA here to see if there's something going on. I know Jensen Huang's speaking with Colette Chris here at some event in South Florida, but I don't think this is going to be the driver of what we have. I mean, that's a nice little buy program if you ask me. So now we just need some higher time frame things to start to play out for us. Now, I mean, we've gone through the majority of our names, and with that being said, there was a nice rebound in SpaceX. Now, I wanted to post up at 151. That train has now obviously left the station. So let's see if you get a rejection of VWAP, and then maybe you get a continuation, especially if the market wants to find some form of a rebound. Some of the pre-market levels are starting to come into play, so that could be a rejection zone for SPY, or we can just absorb everything and continue to move to the northeast. Same thing with 712, right? So 713 here on the NASDAQ. If we break through that level, and with the path that we see some of the larger names on right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we find a full-on rebound. Apple putting in some strong sessions. You're only up a fifth of percent, but things starting to cool. Wow, okay, I thought I put in an all-time high here today. Not necessarily the case. You're still down a little bit off of that all-time high, only 0.8%. So nothing that can happen in a gap up. You open and then brand new ATH for AAPL. Now Amazon finally starting to find some form of recovery, down 12%. From peak to the local low, it was down 18%. So just on the brink of hitting into that pre-market, or sorry, into that bear market territory. But Broadcom still negative here, guys, and no signs of real strength, if you ask me. I'll pull it up. You're still down 28%, or just a little bit less than 28%, more or less 25% off of that previous high. But this gap down is what did the majority of the damage. Now, we'll go back to Walmart, because I know we were talking about the potential bottom, but this was just a gap fill on this one. So no continuous buying outside of what we've seen in the pre-market today. So you're giving back the majority of that move. Now, quantum names down 6% respectively. Are we overly surprised by Rigetti and some of these names? I don't think so. We went over the crypto, and then how are the cybersecurity names? We've been talking about that. CrowdStrike up a third, PanW down 2.5%, and Zscaler up 2% here today. But PanW not too far off the all-time highs, 5%, and CrowdStrike probably a little bit less as it ran into that market. 5% off of the highs for CrowdStrike. Just not enough for me to dip by just yet.
All right, man. Still watching CLRO, got back in at 27s. Well, I don't know, man. I feel like I have a read, and then I don't have a read on this. Now there's a seller at 25. It does really feel like it's putting in higher lows for an accumulation through the 11.5. Here we go, showing the quarter dollar. Let's see if it can price spike up into the mid-30s. We had a pretty aggressive seller last time around at this level at 33. I want to see if they're still there. 35 just got taken out, but look at the aggression with which this one drops. It just popped into 38, right back down into 22. That tells me one thing, maybe a couple. Either there's a pretty convicted short seller at this third of a dollar, or there's somebody offloading a lot of shares right in and around that area, or on any successive pop, because it does feel like we're a little top heavy here, even though we are putting in higher lows. So I'm unsure how this cookie crumbles here, right back down into 11 mid-20s. And the spread does open up on this one. As you can see, 16 on the ask, 5 there on the bid, 8 on the bid. It does change incrementally, so be on the lookout there. I also said very little about this one. I want to mention it because it is making a big move here and into 7. RXT. RXT is a holdover from yesterday. I kept it on the side chart because it was still positive on the day. It wasn't doing much, but here it is, man. And what a move above that area of resistance at 680. And you look at all these topping tail candles with no prints above that 80 level. And there you go, during the slower time of the day, so to speak, right into that 7 area with a 697 area high now on RXT. So that one should be in focus for the small cap gapper inclined. Still holding here SkyQ, trying to build a position off the area lows and back in to skin because it's holding now the volume weighted average price on a 3-candle basis on the 5-minute chart. So, oh wow, Mo El Neni was sitting there talking to Arsene Wenger. That is cool beans there. Those are some OGs, Arsenal OGs. Oh no, CLRO bleeding its own blood down, Joey, into the 20 EMA. This is a big drop here. Is this an area of support? We're going to give this one a try, man. We're going to look for a hold up at the 20 EMA. If it loses the $0.50 we're gonzino, that puts us with a cost basis of $11. So we'll see how this cookie crumbles. Hydration break is done, and the boys are back onto the field.
All right, man. Continuing to move a little bit higher there. Not chasing anything up here in these levels, but a nice recovery on Robinhood up to 115.85. I was looking at some of the small caps, but I didn't see any setups that I was liking. I like playing the high of the day break on them. CRNX. This is barcoding. I think this might be a buyout, to be honest with you. And then Booyah, below the volume weighted average price. TVRD, same thing, below VWAP. And CLRO, as Shreve was just mentioning, was selling off a little bit here. So we'll keep an eye out on this bad boy. If it looks to get that second pep in its step. Now, SKYO, very e-liquid. Man, what happened? I thought the PDT rule was going to drive this fuel a little bit longer than that week there where we were going just absolutely insane, where we were seeing 1,000% left, right, and summer. But don't forget, it is the summer months as well, too, which we typically see cooler volumes. All right, so, I mean, the bigger names might not see it, a lot of algorithmic trading, but this is going absolutely nuts. I can't wrap, well, I can clearly wrap my head around it, but this is, we haven't seen in quite some time on this name specifically. You break 193 and then off to the races it goes. We'll head over to our options chain and go through the larger participants. I mean, we have some of them, the small caps up here, but very many of them are not optionable. So now as for Tesla, how have you been doing on today's session? Very little open interest on the call side, which I mean is good for the name for a potential rally. But what I do want to focus on is Robinhood and then some of the crypto names as well to see if there's any overhead resistance. We're not seeing anything right now aside from 120, right? So 120 does have the largest amount of size, so we can classify that maybe as max pain in the next couple of days. 1 minute there, see? And then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. So the activity actually started to really uptick over the past couple of months. 37.5, there is somewhat of a supply zone, and even at 36.5, which we're trading at 36.25. Let's keep our eyes out on Bitcoin just in case we do start to absorb or we reject this 36.5 level. See ya.
The SPY currently down 0.4 almost % on the day. Let's take a look at the sectors for now. Electric tech, we have NVIDIA up 1%, Apple currently trading flat at the moment, followed by MU, AMD, INTC, GE, SNDK, all sliding towards the downside heavily there. Tech services, we have Google, Meta, and Microsoft all in the green. So Microsoft cutting roughly 3,200 jobs across its Xbox gaming division, and the reason being its restructuring of the business that follows the Activision Blizzard acquisition, followed by Meta that has disclosed that 4 U.S. states are seeking roughly $1.4 trillion in civil penalties in a lawsuit that is alleging Facebook and Instagram were designed to addict young users and mislead the public about platform safety, followed by Google that has participated in a almost valuing to $468 million funding round for German company Proxima Fusion. With that, Oracle down on the day 2.3%, Palantir up almost 3% on the day, with Netflix up almost 1%, and IWM up 3.68% on the day. Finance, we have a bit of a mixed sentiment here. The latter part of the sector seems like a bit of a bullish sentiment, where the part of the sector that's concerning BRKB, JPM, Visa, MasterCard, and Bank of America, BAC, all down on the day and currently trading flat at the moment as well. Visa is lagging down 2.1% at the moment. We have retail trade. Amazon is trading flat at the moment as well, but Amazon is planning to raise at least $25 billion through an 8-part bond sale that we saw earlier in the day. We heard as it looks to continue its massive AI build out. We have Walmart currently trading up 1% on the day. Costco flat, HD down 1.3%. Producer manufacturing lagging heavily over there, followed by AMET down 7% on the day, CAT down 5%, and LRCX down 6.7% on the day. We have consumer durables, Tesla also dragging down a bit here, down almost 3% on the day. However, as I mentioned earlier, health tech and energy seeming to be one of the strongest sectors on the board today. Health tech, Lilly and J&J up 2.4% and 3.2% respectively, followed by ABBV and MRX up. MRK up 1.7% on the day. We have consumer services, process industries, transportation, a bit of a mixed sentiment throughout these three sectors, followed by communication and health services doing strong over there. Communication all in the green. TMIS, VZT, and Echo all up over 1% on the day. We have consumer non-durables, KO and PNG also up over 1%. And finally, we have transportation, Uber up 1.5%. Other names also a bit of a mixed sentiment, with UPS up 1% and Dash also up 4% on the day. And that's all.
32%.
Thank you so much for that, Sia. Great review there. Messi just hit the post, but Schubert had it covered, so it remains 1-0, 31.5. Here we go again. I'm watching CLRO as it works back into 11. We're 11.01, so now technically break even, but that's not why we're in the trade. Of course, we're looking for a bigger move up. I'm looking for an 11.50 bump and touch. We'll see if that ends up coming to fruition or what, but $11 acting as a local area of resistance over here. Back above 11 we go. CLRO, I don't know. I feel like it's the one that's presenting the opportunity is my favorite, by any means, shape or form, but it is what we're presented with. So here it is, above 11.06. Now it gives me a 10.98 cost basis. 8s, 9s, 10s, wet the beak. No continuation through 10. Let's put a liquidity tester right around 15 to see what kind of resistance is waiting for us in and around that level. While we wait for that, let me tell you about this. We're back in here to skin. We're going to take prints, a clean hold off the volume weighted average price, and we got shares on this one. We're looking for more. Let's go ahead and wait at 14 as well. Let's see how this cookie crumbles. Back to CLRO, showing 10s. Is the 10 seller going to keep us down? No, they killed him, Joey. Into the $0.25 we go, and now we're up big. Got a lot of shares here, so I'm going to send it to you.
All right, man. Good stuff. I was looking at Sharif's team here up over on Kalshi, looking to trade some of these 32% from a low of around 15% there, ladies and gentlemen. So not too horrible of a look. I mean, hey, man.
Is every the game minute over yet, bro?
Yeah, well, that's what I said to you, man. It's going to be the longest 70 minutes of your life, my boy. it's going to take a while.
Thing, Joey? At the games, like when you attend the game,
goes by quick.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Like you look
now
up, you're 5 minutes left in the half. Now
every second is going to feel like an hour.
Second.
Yeah,
brutal.
Oh, sorry, everyone. But yeah, there it is, 32%. Egypt, 68% here in Argentina, still looking to win.
Good call.
Funny, I was going through some of the other predictions here in these prediction markets. Will salaries increase? 47%, the congressional salary.
Congressional? Yeah, they need more money. They're not trading enough. They're not making enough insider trades.
Well, hold on, Sharif. Before January 1st, 2030. Okay, well, I mean, that's a little bit of ways away. There's only $36 worth of volume on that one, but 47% to the top side says yes. Now, will OpenAI or Anthropic IPO first? Okay, well, Anthropic, yeah, 81%. I think that's a fair assessment, 303,000. But anyways, having fun with that one, 32% if you're looking to trade some of that. Now, okay, it's still at 32. I thought we got an uptick to 33. But aside from that, guys, a nice, strong move here. And, I mean, the market was participating. We're at the high of the day. Over the past couple of months, there hasn't been very much talk on the fact that NVDA has been outpacing everyone. And I mean, that might be a little bit of a stretch from this intraday session. We're seeing that high of the day on NVDA. Same thing with, okay, but look at the difference within the price action. So this is Microsoft, a lot of sideways PA, and the majority of it coming from the overnight session. Now, as for NVDA, it's all intraday, breaking through this, filling this gap, and then breaking through, heading towards yesterday's HOD. Pretty close to it. We break through it and almost head into that $200 marker. We were taking a look at the open interest. Nothing crazy or substantial over there. It sounds like you got some form of a banger, but I'm going to go over this one more time, Sharif, and that's Michael Burry's applied material short. Really starting to work out for him, man. We were looking at this name, Lamb Research, as well, and it's been on a parabolic run. He's also short Caterpillar. How has that been? Man, this guy is absolutely cooking up a storm, down 14% off of the highs. But what isn't really selling off aggressively?
Joe, CLRO.
It's going.
Breakout through 12 into 1206. We got 1080 on this one. There goes CLRO. That was, wow. Okay, so we were decidedly negative on this. There it is, 1222. Breakout in focus, guys. 1243 high a day. 1237 showing up. Give me my money. Boom. Into the high. CLRO 1251. Here comes the halt parameter.
It's halting.
Yeah, exactly. 1251 halt here. There we go. We need another 4 or 5 seconds at this level. Very pleased with the fact that I got back into this trade here, Joseph Options, as it rips into the area high. Halted 1251 time. 1238.28. Tap. Theoretical auction price for the newer traders showing 1254. That is about 3 pennies, 2 pennies, whatever, from where we closed above. So be on the lookout there. CLRO, all sorts of strong. Very pleased with this trade. We were negative on it. Now, very, very much positive. Now looking for SKIN to hold up above VWAP. But the problem is here, guys, SKIN, yes, it held on a basically 4-candle basis on the 5-minute chart at that 102 area, which is the volume-weighted average price. Problem is now, though, at least upon further inspection, it does look like it's rejecting the 10 EMA from the south side using the moving average as resistance. That's not what I'm looking for here. That doesn't pose, that's not good for my trade. We need to get above 108 for me to really feel comfortable here that we're headed back to the high side. We're going to wet the beak here super quick. At 107, we've got 104s on, but that's not why we're involved in this. We're looking for a bigger move up here on SKIN, up 41%. And there goes SkyQ. SkyQ have got 62s on now. I like the look of this one. It's a bit of a slower mover, so be alert here to SkyQ because it did put in a bottom there at 54, so we did get the pickup. Our cost basis is 61.5. That means we're out of the money currently on it, but hopefully not for long. There goes SKIN into 108. We're going to wet the beak there as well. Now we're going to wait for 10s. 10s clears. It's a good look. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. Alan, Sharif, question for you. I do not have experience trading halters. Is it worth holding a small piece when they halt in your direction after taking profits? I can never give you financial advice. I can only tell you what I do. And it's a mixed bag. So sometimes I hold a piece if I like what I'm seeing. Sometimes I don't. In this particular case, I am worried that this prior area of resistance will act as exactly that, the resistance. I'm talking about the candle at 1025 into 1240. So we're right around there. So I'm assuming that the shorts are going to come in pretty aggressively here. And now the tap on CLRO is showing me $10.70. The halt price is $12.51. It's moving up to $10.90 now. But this is a big move down here on the theoretical auction price. This could be some trouble. And it literally would open up in and around right here where I'm pointing with my mouse there. So watch out. That's a great question and a perfect timing. I hate to say it this way, for it to drop this so we can kind of show you what some eventualities would be. Wow, what a save there. That was almost a goal for Argentina. And a save by Schubert.
He's on, man.
Wow. Yeah, well, if Egypt wins today, and I don't think they will, but he would have to be man of the match so far. What's going on, Randy? I didn't even see you there, brother. So that's what I'm looking at, Joey.
Yeah, all right, man.
Just give it a face for me.
Yeah, hit the button.
All right. Hit the button, SSE. Let's see if he still looks the same.
There. No?
We got that? There we go. We're going to get it. There, it's coming, Randy. It's coming.
It's taking a little bit.
Hey, there he is. Hey, there's my man.
All right, man.
My man,
Good
Randy.
stuff.
Diego Simeone in the stadium.
Who they play if they win?
I forget. Not Spain. It's the other team. Who advanced? England or Mexico? Or
England. Is it okay? Are you going?
No, I'm done.
Are you done?
You wait to tell you how much.
Yeah. A lot of cash.
I'm not going to spend any more money. I can't. It's crazy, right? So.
Wows.
Hold on, corner.
You got a corner going on over there. We're going to take a look at this corner. And that's going to be the scanner corner here.
Get it, Joey.
DRAM to the downside, guys. So you can see that there's some pre-market zones here. The tap on CLRO, for those who are curious, is $11.95. We're halted at $12.51, so slightly falling, but I don't know if that's going to be the end here of the price action.
Colombia or Switzerland, sorry.
Colombia or Switzerland?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I like their chances against one of those teams.
Can I tell you, brother? I would rather play Switzerland than Colombia.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Colombia is really.
They travel well too, man.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Great point. That's a fantastic point. But I feel like their style is that hard-nosed South American in-your-face footy, right? And it's gritty. Yeah, it's very gritty.
That's good.
You ever watch Copa America?
No.
Okay, so if you watch ever Copa America, it's pure fights.
Is it?
It's hard tackles. It's essentially getting in the referee's face, like about to fight
Mexico
the referee.
All about that.
Their Copa America is next level intense.
Are the Brazilians? Are they?
Of course, they're involved in.
No, I mean, are
Copa,
they crying?
Bro.
Because Neymar, Waymar.
Did you hear what he said, Assassino?
Sorry,
I know
bro.
you don't care. I know you don't like.
I'm sorry.
Way
Sorry,
more.
yeah.
Way
I like
more.
him, man. I think he's just one of those hyper skilled individuals.
CLRO is open.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I know.
KC520-6. The
looking for a
tap did
pop
not
on this.
kill everybody as we were watching. A hold of 12, guys. Support locally at 12, resistance at 1251, CLRO into 1298, Joseph options.
Yes.
There you go. Good trade, brother. Good trade.
Wait,
Good look on you
man,
there.
that was
Oh my
insane.
days. All right, what are you looking at? Tell us what you saw
Man,
there
that
on
was a
CLRO.
scalp city. I was just waiting for that one, man. And I mean, one trade, like just a momentum style trade. Just switches absolutely everything up. It's actually quite comical. How you just get, it's like paper cut, bang, AC Slater on that one. And it may not look like much, right? Look at the Tank City on this one too. Holy cow. As soon as I seen price turn around after that halt, I'm like, okay, let's read the tape. Reading some there, boom. I just punch. We get involved at 34s, then we take it out for a 50-cent W. And I mean, nothing crazy from a share standpoint, but it just eliminated like 3 of my losses off of that one trade. And that's the objective of what we're trying to do here. But then it just proceeds to tank over $1. So just be cautious with this one. Sharif will tell you guys all the time. You're here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. We get those runners, I understand that, but a nice little scalp city on this name specifically.
Foul.
4? Oh, okay, just play on there. 369 here for Google. Man, what a dip buy on this one at that 350 marker as we're continuing to perform in this bad boy. Should grab a little bit more, but what I am waiting for, guys, and I told you I'm sitting on a little bit more than 10% cash, and that's like, listen, Adara, who was it who gave this name a ridiculous $800 price target?
That would be our good friends at Raymond James. Also, fun fact, guys, there is an AMZN research infographic that just shows all the price targets on SpaceX. There's not even anything like close to that 400. I think, or the 800. I think the closest might be around 400. But yeah, Raymond James, completely on its own.
All right, yeah, Raymond James giving an $800 price target. But this is what I was talking about, guys. Eventually, we were going to get this breakdown. So we have this nice little uptick, but this was a bull trap. And I was calling it from the top here. Now, as for the support level, I think it's only a matter of time until it breaks, unfortunately. Q2, I believe, coming up relatively soon for this company. We'll get the exact date on that momentarily for when they're going to actually report. But you were going to find out how much she's spending, all right? And where's it all going? The margins, what he's got going on with his AI data centers, Grok, everything along those lines. There's so many segments that are going to be intriguing following this report. And I'm just getting the hunch. 125 is where I'm posted up at. And if SpaceX ever goes to $100, I'm okay with owning it at that price. I believe it would be, I don't know if it would be sub $1 trillion at that point. I don't think so. What are we at? 2? Yeah, so not even close, right? So we're at 252. You lose another 30% here, puts you down to 50s. Anyway, 150, so 1.5 trillion. So what I'm getting at is anything south, I'm going to add the majority of my position. And what I'll do right now is just break down how I was actually allocating this name, and I'm going to continue to do so. So what we have here on SpaceX is I had orders posted up at 160 and 170. We get filled here, but don't forget, I have X amount of money that I'm looking to build into this position. Now, 5% at 170, 5% at 160, and then what I had at 150 in which I actually moved was at 15%, okay, at the lower price. But then I added a little bit more. So I'm going to grab 20% of my total, which would put me around 40% of my total amount size notionally of what I'm looking to allocate here on SpaceX. Anything south of 100, I'll build up to about 80 or 90% and then leave another 10% just in case it falls into the 90s and the 80s and so on and so forth. You guys know where I stand on Tesla as of late. I'm just extremely bullish. This might be a good opportunity. I mean, there's no need for us to, we could do it anyways. We can take a look at the PE, but where I stand on Tesla is just the fact that I truly believe that AVs, autonomous vehicles, and full self-drive are just really going to just take over everything. People are going to just not drive anymore. And Sean even mentioning that his wife wanted to take it on the highway. People who aren't overly confident driving. It's just ways to get them involved. I don't see people.
There's a viral video making its way.
Yeah, you said you were going to show us yesterday.
Yeah, and I saw more of it. So there is one downtown. I sent it to Sean. And that's navigating like literally down the street from here, and on one-way streets, by the way, flawless. And then the other one, I guess it was part of the same video, but somebody had cut them on the 401. Yeah. And the caption is the world's busiest highway, because it technically is, right? By volume basis. Lanes, yeah, because we got express and collectors and whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so it was doing it live on both, just to build on your point, right? Like it's kind of that's the world people live in. You're on the highway. You're on this. All right, guys, we're sending it to Sia.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's take a look at what is going on with the money today. So BOJ board member Toichiro Asada, who has been the sole dissenter of the Bank of Japan's decision in June to raise interest to a 31-year high of 1%, has made comments in his first interview since he has joined the board. He has said that he must see signs of demand-driven inflation before supporting interest rate rises, but he has flagged certain relatively rapid pass-through of higher costs in a sign that he may vote in favor of a hike in the future. The USD JPY pair currently trading around the 161.9 region. It is down on the day 0.1%. Well, technically it's trading flat. Also going to take a look at the USD GPB pair with the British pound. Chart over there. Let me just pull up that chart for you. There we go. So the pound has risen to a 3-week high against the dollar today as the dollars continue to slip in the wake of Thursday's weaker than expected U.S. jobs report as well, and proceeded to hit a new 1-year high versus the euro. Also, let's take a look at what the dollar's doing right now. Well, it seems like it's certainly a little bit into the green, still trading flat on the day. It was just a couple moments ago around the $101 mark, 101 mark. It's at 100.9 at the moment. Like I said, it's up very, very little, 0.14% on the day. And that's all for your Money Talks.
Thank you very much, Sia. Good call as always. Thanks, Bovin. Bovin talking about ILR. Casey talking about RPD, in case you're interested in some small caps. Casey's has a bit more volume than Bovin's. I'm looking at RXT, guys, because RXT just took out the high of the day. Is that the high of the day? Yeah, it is. It breached the 940 high into 709. RXT is a holdover from yesterday. Almost 11 million shares. There it goes into another high day. 714 now. This one's on its horse and looking at taking out even possibly that $0.25. So RXT, I'd just be interested in a $7 move here, and I'd be defending into 695. So RXT making its way up. RPD, this is the one that KC 526 was talking about. Beautiful kind of, I think Joe would probably say buy program or something like that on this one. Very clean here on RPD. This one found its way onto the side chart. Case, good call there. Nary a breach of the 10 EMA. In fact, the last time we were below the 10 EMA was around 10.05. And so that's a long time ago in the world of small cap gappers, obviously. So we're going to keep a close eye out on that. But I'm interested here in RXT, at least up for a dip trade, possibly into 7. Juan, you see the score?
He was cheering with you.
Oh, I didn't even see, man.
Yeah,
I couldn't see, bro. I didn't know, Joey.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to my man Juan, obviously Arsenal fan extraordinaire. And Joey.
Yeah.
There goes Sky Q into the high. We got shares on this one as well. Boom. Into 59. Now, Ozan.
What?
We just took out 69. Ozan, I don't even get a message.
Wow.
Let's go. Wow. 7. We're going to look for now the $0.75. Yeah, I know, Jack of Art, right? RXT, it's him. Absolutely. Hopefully, Sky Q can be him maybe for a little bit here so that we can print, and then it can do whatever it wants after that. But SKYQ into 71s. This is the official high day, but I need to bring your attention to the pre-market highs because we are still not above the pre-market high, okay? So you could theoretically have resistance there, and I would say it's more than theoretical. In fact, there's more volume done at 5 a.m. and at 5:40 a.m. than we're doing now. So you need to be alive to those pre-market highs because they can keep down the price action. So keep a close eye on that. It is now officially halftime. Whew. I can rest, man.
Another 55 minutes, man.
55.
Yeah, well, you got 45. And then the plus, plus 5, so it's
6,
50.
7, 8, 10, 15. Who knows these days, Joey, how much added time that they're going to put. Pedro Felipe, shout out to my man. Dude, what a huge game. Look, man, you know, I like Argentina, don't get me wrong. Messi is probably one of my favorite players of all time. I also like other players on that team as well. I like Rodrigo de Paul. I like McAllister as well, because my old man is a supporter of Liverpool. Yeah, and so I don't hate him at all, man, but obviously I want my team to win. So I know how, you know, a lot of people don't want Argentina to win. Because they don't want repeat offenders all the time.
But when you're also upstream, people don't like it when you're at the top of things.
That's a very good point, Joey. Right. Well, that's what I kind of meant by that. Like, you know, repeat offenders in the sense that they're good repeat offenders. Yeah, Assassino, but we can't talk about that, brother. Why is it then? That's the thing, Assassino. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, are they?
We're not...
Are they? Yeah.
All right. Well, you need to watch the video where Speed is getting trolled by...
Oh, I've seen that, dude.
Yeah.
That's great. We like Speed too, man.
I like Speed, man. I like I Show Speed.
Is that like a known thing in the country, or
it is what it is,
Joey? Stereotypical.
Ozan, in January 2027, Tesla 450 calls makes Tesla 415. Please and thanks for your understanding.
What's he talking about, man?
Well, man, if you were with us,
how was it going to be?
About, man, you would have loved the stuff he was pulling. He was talking to a lot of the Greeks,
Tesla
Joey.
Makes 450.
Right down your alley, baby. There goes SkyQ into another area high. Now we've got 59s on. We're looking for more, man. Let's put this up. We're looking for $3 here on SkyQ. So if you're watching, you're a small cap gapper trader, and you've got a big boy account. Just saying. Into 72 it goes, Joseph Options. We're looking for 75.
All right, man. Yeah, the small cap's been working for us here today. Let's see if we can find another attempt of a high of the day break, but we want to see some volume step in. So I got my ears to the ground, seeing what Casey, Bovin, Roger Noonan, I know he's always in. Ian Ganther looks like it's ready for a drop or an extended consolidation. Like, the thing is, I wouldn't put it past it there, Ian, and nice seeing you in the chat.
Get it,
obviously,
Ian.
Blicky, Jesse's MIA, man. We don't know if Blicky's been talking to him. Did you message him on Instagram? Jesse.
Texas Jet fan?
No, Hernandez.
Oh, no, I haven't seen where he's at.
Yeah, man, you got to see if he's all right.
Yeah, good call on that. You want me to message him?
Yeah, man, message him.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on,
make sure
he's good.
Over there, if his tenure has come.
Yeah, his account's still active. Good. Just gonna message.
Oh, his
just say, hey, brother.
Don't even be like Joe wants. Just be like Joe wants to know where you're at. You're at. Dog.
On you, your boy, Joey. Oops.
Yeah,
boy,
so
Joey.
You send that over there. We have AMD to the downside. I mean, listen, guys, this one little scalp is just a complete narrative changer here on the day for us as we just play the momentum, and then we're fortunate to get out just below that $13 marker. Boom, flush to the south side on this bad boy on CLRO. Now, the question being is, are we going to head back towards the high of the day on that name, 67%? Come on, bring us back. It will come, and trust me, it's just going to be a little bit longer than what we're expecting. There will be a time of those triple-digit movers once again, in high triple-digit movers, and best believe the team is going to be taking advantage of those bad boys. Other than that, guys, I don't feel like I've engaged enough, or I take that back fully. If there's anything specifically that you want to talk about, then please put it in the chat and we'll go over those. Shreve, I'm still breaking, wetting the beak so much I'm drowning. Okay, so Texas Jet fan on fire here today. It's hot up there in Texas. When I'm gone, you never message me. What's up with that? Trap man, I don't have Instagram, and I always
He doesn't. I can vouch for that.
So I have to always be like, go ahead.
SkyQ is ripping, guys. There it goes, into 84, guys. We got 57s into 84. That's the high of the day. We're looking for more now. We're looking for 288. SkyQ is absolutely him right now, up 33%. Wow. I tend to exaggerate when I'm in the money on something, right? Whether it's him or her or whatever the hell else. But we're going to take more profits up here. Yeah, we got a lot of shares left, man. Give me my money, man. All right, so now we're waiting for 88s over here. So SkyQ, good look here, Joey. I was patient with this one, man. I did my due diligence. We added into the technical level into 5.5, and now I'm looking for a 3 touch and bump, man. Let's go. We need to see a 3 here. Shout out to Casper. so you will have a spare pair of socks. What's going on over there, brother? Gabzor, what does wetting the beak mean? I know you say it a lot. Are you just waiting for a birthday? That's good, brother. I like that. Wetting the beak is from The Godfather. A couple of times, actually. Multiple Godfather references to wetting the beak. It essentially means, you know, just getting involved. In my case, it means taking profits, right? And there you go, the animation. Look, the bird, it's dipping its beak into a trash can full of prints because it's taking profits, Randy. You know, the bird, you know, he wants to take profits as well. It's not just for humans, right? What's going on? Thanks, Randy. Give me the thumbs up. But in any event, that's kind of what I mean by that. When you hear me say wetting the beak, I mean take profits. But it does come from The Godfather. And probably comes from other references as well. But in my case, I got it from The Godfather. So shout out to everybody who likes The Godfather. Do you like The Godfather?
Yeah, I like the first two. I never watched the three.
You didn't watch three, Joey.
The third one.
Well, you're not missing much, brother.
I heard it's the worst one.
It is the worst. It's also quite sad.
Is it? Oh,
yes,
there it goes again, Sharif.
Because I don't want to do it. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. I'm not one to get all worried. Oh, wow, there it goes again,
ahead,
Sharif.
Joey.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was thinking about getting in at 12, but now we're starting to pull back pretty aggressively. We're going to go really small on this one and wait for a price action turnaround and keep our eyes on the tape just in case we do get that momentum style play for an additional move higher. Yeah, it's really starting to pick up some steam. But what I am seeing is some defense at this $13 marker. If we blow past that, then we're ready to rock and roll. But yeah, MF Dangerous, what I have been buying, and I've been telling everybody, is we've been getting in some Google. I grabbed a little bit of TKO. Google, TKO, and JPM have been my latest buys, and also SpaceX in my long-term account. Okay, so those are what I've been allocating. Sorry, guys, I'm looking to play the momentum. See, look at that, just drop absolutely tank city on that one. So I tried to catch the momentum on it. Good thing we only had about a fifth of the amount that we had on this initial position. If we don't crack 13, then we have to get prepared to step out of this one. We'll give a little bit back, but not all of it, considering we are playing the high of the day break, looking for that momentum style play. Now, this candle is going to be a massive teller. It's either we break up aggressively, or there we go. Man, you have to have those orders out, Sharif, as you say all the time.
There it goes, Joe.
It taps into them really, really quick, and then it sells off equally as aggressively. So you have to be quick on the sticks, as we would like to say around these neck of the woods.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be quick on the
There
sticks.
it goes, man.
There you go, Joey.
So it popped up to 1320 and then just came back immediately.
It's spready, though. What spread are you looking at right now?
Well, I only got a penny spread on it.
There's no way that's a penny spread. Let me have a quick look.
Yeah, man. The volume is there.
No, bro. Your thing's whack there. Well, now it's okay. Yeah. See how it opens up a little bit there?
Yeah, it opens up a little bit. Yeah. But at the, so there it is.
Peak rates. Get it, Joey.
Peak rates. All right, there we go. That's it.
Seller at the $quarter, guys.
What's up, Clutch One?
Seller at the $quarter.
There you go. Are you in it?
But no, I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm still involved in SkyQ, my man Joe Opsh. Sharif, you are missing out the Egypt game. Wasim, my man, the game's on the side. What do you think's going on over here,
Wasim? Going on, man.
Shout out to my man Wasim there. All right,
Clutch One.
What do you got, Joey?
Same thing. We're all out of it now, guys. A nice little scalp. So, I mean, this one, let it grow, says, let it grow, Joe says, risky, bro. Hey, man, it is what it is, right? We take the scalp. You be thankful for what it is, and it's just a chip in a chair where you just slowly get away out of some of them. So there it comes back in a little aggressive, okay? So Joe going to start crying. Why am I going to?
Why was he going to?
I don't know. Jack of Art is like, I don't know. I'm going to put, I like him too. He's like Mike Peter Ryder 2.0. It's like, one day I'll love you and I'm going to fly you out. And then now I'm apparently going to start crying. Sheriff, as he puts your name there, spelled incorrectly. I'm accumulating PLTR and ONDS. Sold a lot of ONDS, 7 cash secured puts. Nice, man. So if you're looking to get in that size, that's looking pretty good for you. We'll pull up ONDS, MF, and see what else we got going on. What is your latest purchase, chat? Let me know what you guys are looking to buy as of late. Are you getting involved with some of this tech trade? Are you waiting for DRAM and the memory names to come into play? Now, you sold $7. Okay, that's not too bad if you're looking to get a side on ONDAS. But no, I'm curious to know what you guys are buying and what you guys are looking at for your long-term portfolio. I told you, my main focus right now is going to be Google and SpaceX, and maybe I'll grab a little bit more TKO because I like it a lot. I'm happy with where I stand from a JPM and a Walmart standpoint, just a little bit spread out there, which I don't find any form of an issue. I'm diversified exactly how I want to, but I believe tech, and we say this a lot, is it's either your best or your worst performer, and I'm okay with sitting on the opposite, on both ends of that spectrum.
All right, man. Buvin, SkyQ could be a multi-day mover, says Buv. Yeah, well, we're involved here, Buvin. Looks like there was a seller here at around 84. That is the high, but I saw the seller a little bit lower than that. Here it is again, coming back down. Guys, I want to see a 70 hold here. It doesn't have to be on a very strict basis, like if it wicks into 69 or 68, that's the indication to get out. But the reason I'm looking for a 70 hold, and in fact I could add at 70, is because once, twice, Obi, he is the one thrice, and then on the fourth time we take out 70, right? And look, I was involved in this one into that 70 resistance before. CLRO is going. Tell me you have it.
Dude, no, I'm out now. Yeah, I was going to take another one, but I didn't want to get too carried away, brother, to be honest with you.
Good job, Case.
Yeah, so $12.93, it tapped into that $14 marker. Casey, CLRO, rocket ship. Yeah,
rocket.
A lot of people having fun. Put it in the chat. We'll do a poll actually right now. Are you trading CLRO? I think that's going to be a good one. We'll throw up those ones and twos momentarily. But first and foremost, we have to set up the stock voting game so we can get everyone involved. Stock.
Sia, what's the number one stock there on the NVIDIA? But give me top 5. Oh, thanks.
There you go.
Ooh, perfect. So CLRO is number 2. All right. It's only behind NVIDIA by 10. So I guess maybe we can get that a little bit higher.
We can get that changed. All right. So are you trading CLRO? Yes or no? It's very black and white. Let's get you guys involved. Have a little bit of fun with this as Egypt is leading Argentina into that halftime report. A good, nice move, guys. So get those votes up in the chat. Not enough for my liking. I'm just going to keep this up on my screen. No charts until we get some more votes here from everyone. 4 to the no side so far, Sharif. 5. Now it's 50-50 at this point, guys. Let us know what you got going on.
Am I clicking 1 because I was trading it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's go ahead and vote here, Joey.
See what Adara's got. Adara curious to know if you're yeah, CLRO, if you're trading that one.
Well, what? How many dollars is this ticker, Joe?
$13.
I think that is your answer. I think that might be your answer.
All right. Anyways, let's see what else we got going on here. It is, oh my God.
What happened, Joey?
Well, I lost all my screens now, so.
You lost all your screens? Well, we can take over here.
Yeah, there you go. It is news time, though. I don't know if you want.
It is. Oh. Sia Shete. How do I say your last name exactly?
I think you said it right.
How do I say it? Sete?
I taught you that last time, remember?
No, but tell me again.
Shete.
Shete. Yeah, Shete. Am I saying it right?
Yeah,
all right.
You are, because I've realized that people here are not taught how to say "t" in words. Like incorporate that between words.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, but back home we go more on phonetic sounds.
So can you say it the normal way?
Shete.
Shete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think I got you. All right. Well, there you go. Now, don't mispronounce Sia's last name.
Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do it, because you guys will get clipped. All right. Let's send it up to Sia and start the new segment.
Let's definitely do that. Rivian is our first stock that we're talking about. Our RIVN down, inching closer down 14% almost on the day. So stock had plunged over 10% earlier today, with currently falling it closer to 14% at the moment after the company had announced a public offering of 75 million shares of its Class A common stock. So the capital raise had occurred during the extended hours of yesterday when Rivian shares had risen 8.1%. The stock has also increased an overall percentage of 19% just last week. So based on yesterday's close of $20.14 per share, Rivian will raise roughly $1.51 billion with this offering. So it's planned, and it's said in a filing that it plans to use these proceeds to fund its equity contributions as a part of a loan agreement with the U.S. Department of Energy. And it has also said in the public filing that it has intended to grant underwriters an option for a period of 30 days to purchase up to an additional share count of 11.25 million.
Yes, I see it, Tish. Just messaged you back there. Yeah, Joey's in on it now. Well, he was. We're talking about CLRO because it's continuing to rip 1409 high. It is almost up 100% now. It, in fact, now is up 100%. I feel it's going to 15. Trade it carefully. 1420. It's ripping. CLRO, him. Let's talk about Rivian. 75 million share public raise, issuing for $1.5 billion in, for $1.5 billion raise there. It does obviously dilute the equity. So let's talk a little bit about this. The reason that they did this, though, at least my first thought was, oh, look, they're raising like everybody else because they need to build out. They need CapEx money. That's not exactly what's happening here. They are getting CapEx money by doing this, but it's not exactly that way. So they have a deal here with the Department of Energy for $4.5 billion loan. And their SEC filings, if you were to look at that, disclose that to unlock the first tranche of that $4.5 billion Department of Energy loan, which comes due in early 2027, they're actually contractually mandated, Rivian is contractually mandated to achieve and sustain what they're calling positive growth margins for a specific period prior to the first draw. The first draw, of course, is that $4.5 billion loan. So the share sale apparently was aggressively timed to build up a defensive cash cushion in case the early R2 sales, don't really do that well, or the R2 is delayed and they don't realize any projected revenue from that. So they're doing this strategically to make sure that they have enough cash on hand so that they qualify for that $4.5 billion Department of Energy loan. So that's what I want to make there. Make the clear distinction that they're not doing this to build out the Georgia plan or anything else. That's not what my primary understanding is. Secondly, there's obviously dilution anytime new shares are issued. The primary offering combined with a 30-day underwriter option for an additional 11.25 million shares. That's going to expand Rivian's Class A shares by about 1.44 billion shares. That inflicts, of course, a sharp and an immediate 6% equity dilution on existing shareholders. That is something you have to be alive to, obviously, as your piece of the pie there got reduced. Joe.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a mixed bag here from what I'm reading. Obviously, it's not good. It's on its worst performance day in the past 20 months. I understand that. But as for the guidance, absolutely not. It's not horrible, right? We've been over that. But one thing that I really wanted to focus on was that, the short float is increasing. So I'm trying to find the exact numbers once again. So 144 million shares before this offering. Now we're at 150 million shares, which is 15% of its company's public available float. That can get pretty hefty, and that's not good for this company. All right, so they're burning through cash. You're down big time here today. But the guidance was, which absolutely wasn't horrible. They produced more than what they delivered, but they're selling vehicles, which is something that they struggled with for quite some time. It's just something like this is what's really detrimental to the company, and especially if you have now a 15% short float, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some more downside here in Rivian. Send it back to Sia.
Let's take a look at Samsung's earnings. So shares have fallen over certain concerns around spending and demand that had been overshadowed by these record second quarter earnings. So shares have closed nearly 7% lower today, even after the company's reported a preliminary second quarter operating profit of 89.4 trillion won, which amounts to around $58.4 billion versus 57.2 trillion won in the prior year period. So on a year-on-year basis, operating profit of the quarter is expected to jump 1,800%, more than 1,800%, and revenue for the period of April to June was 171 trillion won, which is up 133.9 trillion won in the previous quarter compared to the same period a year earlier, and sales have more than doubled here. So Xavier Wong, who is a market analyst at eToro, has said that Samsung stock has been dragged down by concerns that AI infrastructure spending can't keep growing at the pace that has been driving these memory prices.
They say that a lot, Sia. They do. They consistently worry about that. And we see these big market corrections because the market is worried that the AI spending is getting out of control. Well, the profitability is also getting out of control. Let's talk about this. So Samsung, obviously not a stock that we're trading on a daily basis, but there's a lot of read-through that we can make when I give you these latest numbers. I mentioned it in the morning, but it's worth mentioning it again. $58.4 billion, not in revenue, but in profit in Q2 of 2026. That is some companies, all their profit for forever and ever more. And guys, just to give you some context here, that was their profit for 2 years, cumulatively, from 23 to 25. That's what they made. In fact, it exceeds that 2-year period. So it just shows you the insane nature of basically the memory space, because that's where they're making the majority of their money on, okay? At least recently. Now, Sia was saying, look, the market's concerned a little bit here about the CapEx spend. Well, there was also this little tidbit as well. The market also wanted to see a little bit more in terms of revenue. And they printed about 87.3 trillion won in revenue on the quarter, but the whisper numbers were coming a little bit higher. The whisper numbers were around 90 to 100 million or 100 trillion won. So that is possibly a bit of a miss there. I'm not saying that it's a bad report, but something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're talking about a bottleneck that a lot of these memory names are rolling into 2028. Now, the question for me is, and we're seeing this across multiple spaces, and what I'm referring to is NVDA, with ridiculously high margins. Now, with the margins that you see Micron, SanDisk, and Samsung produce, are you going to see an outlier, a company that's not really often talked about, step into the space and start undercutting these prices? Because you're holding on to 80% margins. It's absolutely insane, okay? So that's something that's not sustainable, and with that being said, is highly profitable. And that was a major issue falling into NVDA. It's like, okay, well, now you're gonna start to see people creating their own custom chips. You're going to see the Marvells, the Broadcoms, the AMDs in the world start charging lesser prices than what actual NVDA is. And what is that going to do? It's going to obviously hurt their total addressable market, cutting back on their margins. I think we're going to fall into the same scenario. Now, eventually supply will meet up with the demand, but they're stating not until late 2028. So you still have a couple more years, but we talk about the market being forward-looking, and that's the narrative that we're sitting in right now. You have a blowout quarter, quadruple digits. It's insane. 19 times year over year growth is absolutely, like, it's ridiculous numbers, up 129% year over year from a profit standpoint. Like, these are numbers where you would expect the stock to just go on and soar. But that's not the narrative that we're sitting in as of late. We've seen NVDA beat quarter after quarter, but yet stay within its expected move. It doesn't make sense. Well, what is going on? The market being forward-looking, pricing this price action in before the reports, anticipating that they're going to hit those expectations. Now, what's going to drive it to those next levels? It's going to be surprise. You need to have some form of surprise and beat on a metric where the street was not expecting it. All right, so that's where I stand on this stuff. I've been saying for quite some time, be cautious on what we have going on with the SanDisks of the world, the Microns, the Samsungs, the SK Hynix. What does this mean for the IPO, or I mean the ADS coming on Friday? Is it going to be reflected how we're expecting it to, where now you're having more easier for institutions on the Western side of the world to get involved? You're getting more retail involved. When I was bringing up the point that the KOSPI is pretty much 25% Samsung, 25% SK Hynix, which can be extremely dangerous, and to the tune where the index itself has climbed up 300% over the past year. Just be cautious on what's going to happen. It may not go parabolic. More hands involved here now means more opinions, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of chop. Now, we are down. Here's DRAM ETF. You know I talk about it. Sean was trading it, I believe, this morning. I've been involved with it for quite some time. But here it is, down 26%. So if we're talking about discounts, maybe soon.
Discounts?
Right, discounts on some of this stuff is crazy. But I think when we roll into SNDK, I want to see how down off the highs. Like, look at SanDisk, right? Like, here's SanDisk, something that you thought couldn't be stopped. Well, guess what? You're now down 32%. So everyone who wasn't patient enough, and trust me, I've been there, done that, you're now underwater, especially if you've been buying in the 2000s. Send it back to Sia.
Let's take a look at Amazon. AMZN's $25 billion bond sale. So AMZN planning to raise at least $25 billion through an 8-part bond sale. It looks to continue its massive AI build-out as a reason. So according to people familiar with the matter, undisclosed, the company has also shared with its underwriters that it won't be issuing any further debt this year. So this will be its final offering. So Amazon has disclosed plans for the capital raise in a filing with the SEC as of today, but it has not disclosed the exact dollar amount of the filing and anything else. The debt sale is coming after Amazon has raised roughly $54 billion in bonds earlier this year in the United States as well as in Europe. So this is followed by a $10 billion bond sale that happened raised in Canada in June. So Amazon has also raised $15 billion from a U.S. bond offering in November of last year. Amazon has projected its capital expenditures will be reaching around $200 billion by this year, up from $131 billion from last year in 2025. So most of its spending going towards data centers, chips, and other equipment. CEO Andy Jassy has also tried to reassure investors that are skeptical of its plans by arguing that AI is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that requires big bets. And with that, AMZN to the upside a little bit, 0.35% on the day.
Yeah, this is really interesting because, we can just say, they're going to spend $200 billion in CapEx in 2026, so they need to raise. This is just, it's getting a little aggressive here. Sia brought up the $54 billion transaction that they had in March, but what we didn't talk about is the $14 billion Canadian maple sale last month in June. That brings Amazon's total debt issued in all of 2026 to $93 billion. And it's having an effect here on the bond market. So kind of like what happened with in June when Amazon's massive maple bond sale physically kind of warped the Canadian bond curve and forced asset managers to panic sell Alphabet and utility notes to kind of make room. Now it's already forcing investment-grade corporate spreads to violently widen across the entire U.S. tech sector. So these raises are having, even though they're happening in the equity markets, obviously because it's an equity, the bond market is also reacting to this as well. And it's having an issue on corporate bonds, spreads on them specifically. So I think there's a wider play here that we need to be concerned with, especially if we get more hyperscalers raising.
Would you see any of these, can these companies go into the private debt markets? Like, would you see any, I guess you wouldn't even hear of it if they decided to, just for the amount of cash that they're trying to raise.
Well, I think you might, right? In their earnings reports, because they would have to disclose that, right? And the accounting on the profits and loss.
But from the lender, they don't have to disclose it.
The lender doesn't have to do squat, right? Because they're a private company, especially if they're private, right? But if Amazon in their earnings report has to kind of do it, right? So,
yeah. No, I mean, listen. So we talk about the bottleneck in the memory storage. Now, we're going on this insane run. We're seeing these hyperscalers start to enter the debt market. NVDA did it, Google's done, Alphabet's done it, and now we're starting to see Amazon do it. Well, Amazon depleted over 75% of their free cash flow for this AI build-out. Now, when will we start to see a cool down in the memory storage and in this AI build-out?
No way.
Was that Mo?
No way. 2.
It's over.
2-0. No way. No,
bro, don't leave me hanging,
bro. No way.
It's over.
It's still not over, bro. It's 60 minutes, man. It isn't even close to being
30
over.
minutes.
No way.
Bro, we should have been on Kalshi. Never mind this. Why weren't we on Kalshi here when it was at 32%? Let's pull this bad boy up and see what we got going on. Man, what an upset. The upset of the century. Sharif, the tides have turned now.
Oh, my God.
Look at this, my boy. Look at this.
The chart, Joey.
Look at the chart,
Joey.
Look at the chart.
Oh,
the tides have turned. Man, oh, man. You were banking cash on this, my bad boy. My boy. That is insane. Holy. Dude, $141 million traded on this.
Are you kidding?
No.
The degens are all out,
all over this.
All the degens are out.
Man.
I love it. Oh, my days. Oh, there's a VAR goal. There's a VAR check here, Joey. Oh, he fouled him. It's not going to count.
It's not even going to count.
It's not going to count.
Oh, man, short
there,
this. Now 71%, you go short on this.
I don't think he's going to count. Yeah,
he stepped on his toes,
accidental.
too.
It's incidental, but it's still a foul, right?
Wow.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Okay, so anyways.
You're not even Argentinian. What are you so happy about?
Yeah. That's crazy,
I don't need to be Argentinian to support a team, just like I don't need to be from Italy to support Ferrari. That's how it works in sports.
Oh, it's getting heated. This is what sports do, man. You don't got to. All right, anyways, aside what I'm getting at here, guys, we're starting to see these hyperscalers really step into the debt markets.
Took it off.
Yeah, that sucks, man. We are celebrating a little bit too early. Sharif, I told you the short on Kalshi. Never mind Amazon. Look at this. At one point, seconds ago, 76%. The tides have turned once again in the prediction markets. Kalshi, Egypt going from 76. If you were quick on the trigger, man, I need to know more about this because that was a big time short. Now 50-50. Man, oh man, could this be a good time to buy? Guys, I'm curious to know if anybody, Katina, man, I see you in there. Let's go Palantir. We're on Kalshi right now, brother. This is This is how you trade prediction market.
Right back,
real quick. But that's what I said. As soon as you said, well, no, it did because it prices it in the W right away. But then as soon as they mention the fact that it's a no goal, it's sold off immediately.
Well, exactly. I mean, then it puts it back to 1-1.
But that's what I was saying.
1-0, I mean.
That's what I was saying. If you could short it somehow, 46%. So things starting to come back in there in the prediction markets. But again, Amazon, guys, depleting the majority of their cash flow heading into the debt markets. There's going to be multiple metrics that I'm going to be keeping on amongst the hyperscalers. Meta, Amazon, Alphabet, and Microsoft. I want to see how much money these guys are going to be spending.
Take a look at Toyota. So Toyota Motors said today that Toyota has said today that it will be investing $3.6 billion to move production of the Tacoma mid-size pickup truck from a plant in Mexico to San Antonio in Texas manufacturing campus. So the investment is expected to create at least 2,000 jobs in the United States at that facility and add a second vehicle assembly line and roughly double the size of the 2.7 million square foot plant by the year 2030. So it will expand the plant's annual capacity from roughly 200,000 to 350,000 units. The announcement is also a part of Toyota's plans to invest up to $10 billion, more than previously expected domestically in the U.S. through the year 2030. So this comes less than a week after the Trump administration has confirmed that it would not extend its trilateral trade pact with Canada and Mexico, and instead will be opting to conduct annual reviews. So a Toyota spokeswoman has also said that the company is maintaining its operations in Mexico as the Tacoma production transfers from Tijuana to Texas over the next 4 years. The company has plans to continue the produce Tacoma pickups at another Mexican plant in Guanajuato.
Yeah, this is interesting as well because we've already seen this with these Japanese automakers in Canada. Honda specifically canceled a plant expansion. We've seen Stellantis shut down an entire plant. We've seen GM as well cancel an entire shift. And most of those, sadly, those jobs for that production is heading south of the border. And so I'm kind of seeing a bit of a pattern here where car companies are going where there's the least friction. And one of the Honda, I think he was the Honda Canada CEO, somebody high up. He was on Canadian television, I think, a few months ago when Honda announced this. I know we're talking about Toyota, but I think the read-through is apt here. He was like, look, we have no problem building in Canada, but we are building in Canada to sell to the U.S. market because the Canadian market alone, if we were to just sell the Canadian-produced cars to Canadian customers, is far too small. And there's no incentive for us to build in Canada for Canadian consumers. They're building in Canada for American consumers. And so once that doesn't become advantageous financially, you're going to see exactly what we're seeing here. And that's kind of my gist of this whole thing. What do you think?
No, I find it interesting, right, Sharif? You and I both stand in the same camp why it's a little bit more difficult to produce vehicles here because you have the unions involved. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them, right? But it just gets expensive. And with that being said, you lose the majority of the margin. But within a plant that produces over 144,000 Tacomas in 2025, starting to shift, I mean, there's some big changes in the auto industry, and we're starting to see things like, look what happened to Rivian, produced in Normal, Illinois, just having to dilute their shares. It's not good. I've always stood in the camp that sometimes, aside from, I believe it's GM who's the best performer, it's really tough space to be invested in because it's very, very low margins within the legacy automakers.
Oh God, yeah.
It's just because you have to pay your employees so much, and the cost of goods. That's why China has the ability. We talk about them not being good with ICE engines, but they've somehow perfected the EV.
But can I say one other thing too? Like they're a bit more flexible as well. So when you come into the
Who's a bit more flexible?
So non-unionized auto makers. So for example, Tesla can change the shifts, can kind of change your position, can maneuver a little bit easier. But when you have some of these legacy automakers that are heavily unionized, right, changing a shift is like
it's the 8 to 4, the 4 till so on,
or
and
anything.
Exactly.
Any major changes is really hard to go through because of that process, right?
Absolutely, man.
So they're less able to kind of respond to the shifting landscape.
Look what happened to the chaos when they canceled the one shift in Oshawa.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I was just I mentioned
right?
that because people were really livid about that. So, all right. See what else we're talking about with Sia.
Up next is Google participating in a 411 million euro, which amounts to almost $468 million funding round for a German company called Proxima Fusion. I mentioned this in the Sector Watch. So this reinforces its long-term commitment to nuclear fusion as a future source of carbon-free energy for AI infrastructure. Now, Proxima is developing Stellarator fusion technology and aims to build Europe's first commercial fusion power plant later in this decade with a demonstration reactor that is targeted for the early 2030s. That's what overall is going on over here. With that, Google is up closer to 8% on the day.
Yes, the completion of this private round was actually specifically engineered to exceed that $400 million target, which is actually required to bring a binding memorandum of understanding with Bavaria. So apparently they have a deal with the Free State of Bavaria that if they were to get that $400 million, then that unlocks $1.2 billion in secondary national subsidies from the German government. So it makes sense for them to kind of do it in this way with that quantum of $400 million. That's about, I believe, 400 and change in US dollars. So I like this look. I like getting into the fusion business. A lot of people feel that this is sort of going to be the energy source for the second half of the 21st century. We'll have to see where it goes. That's two. That's game. That ain't offside. Let's go.
That's a good
2-0. My man. Boom.
Yeah, I feel like Katina Man got a bet on Argentina over there, man. Oh, did you?
Did. All right. Get it, Assassino. So that's kind of what I feel a little bit there, Joey, is, fusion, energy generation is going to be great in the second half of the 21st century. But before we get there,
well, just because of the cost
you got to crawl before you can walk. So
well, the cost of energy is supposed to more than triple by 2030, especially if it's just the use of data centers.
Yes, sir.
And everything along those. So, I mean, I'm reading out something else at Cognizant. There's a deepening partnership between Google and Cognizant, so enterprise to 100,000 workers this year. So this is a pretty big deal, and the stock itself was up 6.2%. Shares have lost about 47% of their value, which isn't good whatsoever. But anytime you make a deal with Google, and in regards to AI, it's definitely going to benefit you, and it's going to benefit Google as well. So things aren't looking too bad. And like Sharif said, you got to walk before you can run. This is why out of all of the hyperscalers, Google's primary on my list, because they literally have their hand in almost every basket. It is the tech ETF, regardless of them having to raise, which I believe that debt was to pay some form of tax. Enough said. Cash heavy at one point, starting to deplete it, but the AI build out, if anyone's going to be able to monetize this to the fullest extent, we know who it is. Why? Because you have the cloud aspect of things, and then just the Gemini ecosystem. Okay, so Google, love it. Going to continue to buy it. It's my favorite. I know we've done multiple polls on the fact that who would you personally want to get behind, and Google just remains at the top of the list right now. It's only like, I don't know how much more it's going to take, Sharif, until it surpasses NVDA for the highest market cap.
Yeah, and you kind of feel like it's kind of accruing there, you know, all the different divisions that they have, right? But anyway, just to bring it back to this, guys, they're strapped for energy. We know that they're, you know, it's BYOE, bring your own energy now. There's not going to be any sort of subsidies from the government. You're not going to have a lot of receptive ears in government, obviously, because you're increasing the costs on their what's it called, on their tax base there. So there's going to be issues with energy, and so they got to figure this out. Anyway, let's send it back to Sia and speak about the next story.
This is a story that I do want to talk about with Adara as well. We're just going to co-share this story. So Meta has disclosed that 4 U.S. states are seeking roughly $1.4 trillion, did you know it, in civil penalties in a lawsuit that's alleging that Facebook and Instagram were designed to addict young users and also mislead the public about platform safety. So the proposed penalties that are brought by California, Colorado, Kentucky, as well as New Jersey are nearly equal to Meta's current market cap, which is an insane thing to take a look at. The company has also called this figure unprecedented and legally unsupported. So the trial is scheduled to begin, as you do know it, on August 18th, and claims are filed under the state consumer protection laws alongside the federal Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which is the COPPA. Lots going on here, Adara. This is a pretty big thing. What do you have to say about this?
Well, I think the timing of this is kind of crazy because you guys may or may not know, but over the last week or so, I've spent a lot of time researching and putting out infographics related to states, specifically state attorney generals, suing or pursuing action against public companies. So this is literally right in my wheelhouse, the exact work that I've been doing. So with that in mind, I'll show this. This is going to be posted tomorrow, so it's not out on X yet. But this is just basically a number of actions that have been taken against each of these public companies so far this year. Now, the reason that some of these numbers outnumber the total number of U.S. states, because if there were multi-state coalitions, I would include each state as a separate action. So, total number of people who were involved in each separate case. Because in the cases of Google and Meta, as we know, multiple different coalitions. So again, Meta, second most pursued company so far this year, next to Google. Now, as you can see, tons like SpaceX got a letter earlier this year about some of their XAI content. You've got Netflix on here. You've got CalMaine, Apple, Eli Lilly, United Health. That's just the ones who have been pursued at least once each. Now, I bring this up other than the obvious. This is a story about 4 states suing Meta, but because I'm going to say something really unpopular here, but we always talk about, oh no, Europe hates America. Europe hates big tech. Can we maybe make the case that some of these states and some of the U.S. hates big tech too?
True. And
I'm going to, again, I feel free to attack me. I would love to have a debate on this, but I find it very, very interesting how willing some of these companies, some of these states are, and there's some that are more than others. I have other data on that we can talk about, but some of these states are very willing to sue companies. And, obviously you're trying to act in the best interest of your state. I understand that. But I think what kind of line is it for this versus what we're seeing in Europe? And that's the debate that, I'm very open to having, but I did want to show this visual. I thought the timing of this was quite serendipitous in terms of the work I've already been doing, and expect more infographics, including this one, about state AGs and public companies to come out over the next couple days and weeks.
Thank you so much for that, Adara. That was an insane take. Let's send it over to the guys.
Yeah, this is more trouble for Meta. We've seen this already where they have 2 pending lawsuits, one about addiction, one about, obviously, child protection. So this is just going to, I feel, get a little bit worse unless there's some sort of legislative protection put in for these companies, right? So that they're sort of statutorily protected from these lawsuits, sort of similar to what was that, Section 31 that they were using to protect themselves from what other people posted on their networks. So I feel like the courts are really going to open up here and hit these social media companies pretty hard unless they get some sort of either federal or state protection, but they got to be statutorily protected. Otherwise, it's going to be open season on them. We'll see how it kind of goes here, Joey. But I got to tell you, when it comes to children, I think that there should be certain rules that don't apply obviously, to regular adults. I think that protection is required for that.
Well, I mean, we know Lena Khan was going after big tech for a very long time. But I totally agree. Like, listen, there was an individual case as well where the plaintiff was rewarded $30 million, okay? So there is an overhang within this company specifically, and there's these multiple lawsuits that really makes it more difficult for this stock to appreciate in price. Now, we've seen the exact same thing when it came to the antitrust between Google and Apple. But as soon as that was lifted and the judge ruled in their favor, what happened to the both underlying stocks itself? So I'm going to claim the fact that it's the exact same weight bearing on Meta's shoulders right now, as even though it's a different case in regards to child safety and social media addiction, but it's an overhang on the stock in itself, okay? There goes CLRO putting in a new high of the day once again, guys, but coming right back in. So what's going to have to happen is, as Sharif mentioned, there's going to have to be something ruled to the point where it protects these major social media companies, more or less referring to Meta. Now, we know other countries have taken some risk measures. You have to be 16 plus in Australia, and they're doing the exact same thing in Europe. Is that going to happen here in the States? Wow, nice pop up there on CLRO.
Nice. There comes 15.
From 14 to 15.
There
wow,
it is.
Up to 15.50 and right back down. So that's what we're waiting for right now. Meta can announce anything, and we've seen what's happened as of over the past couple announcements, is that, hey, we're getting into the prediction markets. Hey, we're going to be adding this paid tier. Oh, okay, guess what? We're getting into cloud, which is all fine and dandy and feels like sunshine and rainbows, but it's not when you have this overhang from multiple lawsuits to the tune where it's almost equal to the amount of their market cap. Now, shoot high, I understand that, aim for the stars, land on the moon. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen for where they're going to have to pay that sort of fine. But I stand on the fact that once this gets cleared up in the next year or so, then maybe we can see Meta finally start to climb a little bit higher. Send it back to see it.
Yep, let's talk about SpaceX. So it's officially joined the NASDAQ 100 as of today with an estimated 1.3% index weighting, which has triggered a passive buying from these ETFs, as well as mutual funds that are tracking the index. So this inclusion is supportive, but analysts are believing that the impact may be smaller than expected because only about 4% of these shares are publicly tradable. So this basically limits the amount that the index funds can purchase. So CBOE has estimated the options market pricing to be roughly $20 more over the next 11 days, as traders are positioning around this rebalance. With that, SpaceX is down on the day 5.16%.
As Sia mentioned, 1.3% index weighting. Yet it's a $2 trillion, give or take, market cap. So how does that jive, right? How does a $2 trillion market cap only make up 1.3% of 100 companies? That's because they are only allowing 3 to 5% of their float to actually be publicly traded. So what the NASDAQ did here was they have a rule that prohibits full valuation from dominating the benchmark if you have a low float like that. So instead, the NASDAQ calculated a specialized, what they're calling index-specific market cap, which is actually closer to $300 billion, given that 1.3% weighting, rather than the $2 trillion that we're talking about. So something to keep in mind there. Its market cap is not indicative of its weight within the NASDAQ 100 until and if they allow more shares to trade on the public market, so increasing the float. But I also have to mention that the supply dynamics is going to change markedly here, at least on the 6th of August, when there's going to be a there's going to be that's their first public earnings, quarterly earnings, but there's also going to be the expiration of a localized insider lockup that actually activates, so that legally unlocks about 20% of internal insider holdings that could be sold into the open market. So there could be a bit of a downturn August 6th onwards. You'll have to keep a close eye on that. But here's the deal as well. Because the NASDAQ 100 is zero sum, what that means is it's a cap-weighted system, meaning passive tracking funds like the QQQs, for example, must pro rata liquidate an estimated $4.3 billion worth of mega caps that they already have. We're talking about Apple. We're talking about Microsoft. We're talking about NVIDIA. The purpose of it is to legally, to kind of make sure you're doing all the legal things correctly and to free up the cash that's now required to buy the new SpaceX position that you have to add. So something to think about there. There could be some localized sellings in other names because they're forced to reweight their ETFs here, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, Sharif hit that on the head. Again, you have to wait till this lockout period. I wonder, is that, so the shares that are going to be released?
2-1, Argentina scored. 78-44. Oh boy, here we go. Game on, baby.
15 minutes left.
Game on, baby.
So anyways, we got an interview. All right, so I mean, guys, we have to be prepared for the shares that are locked up right now and that are going to be released momentarily. All right, I think it's going to be a massive teller on what's going on. I mean, we had the Raymond James $800 price action, but we see some more realistic things. Now, what we do is we have B of A with a $235 price target, RBC 225, need him $200, Cantor Fitzgerald with $246. Totally reasonable. Now, the valuation in which Raymond James has put SpaceX at with an $800 price target is absolutely insane. But the direction of this stock is going to be massive after this Q2 earnings report. We're going to send things off to Adara. We have a special guest for you guys.
We do indeed. We're very pleased to welcome Nolan Peterson onto the show, CEO of Atlas Salt, which you can find on the Toronto Ventures Exchange, or TSXV, as ticker SALT. Welcome on. Good afternoon. How are you doing today, Nolan?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, honored to have you on. Let's kick it right off here with a question. So I understand that Atlas Salt recently released an update with regards to your Great Atlantic Salt project. What can you tell us about construction mobilization on the site?
Yeah, so we are developing the Great Atlantic Salt Project. It's on the west coast of Newfoundland. And recently in March, we announced that we started construction at the site. So we wanted to provide the market with a little bit of an update of that, it's very rare for mining projects to actually get going. They talk a lot about construction, but they don't actually build anything. And we are actually building something. So we wanted to get that out there. We also wanted to demonstrate the strong community and permitting support we have in the region, which is also something a lot of mining companies find a challenge with. We streamlined the permitting process with the local community that we are beside. We saw it as a very great sign of support from stakeholders in the region that this is a project that they support and want to advance as well.
So you kind of alluded to this already, but I want to get more into it. What kind of permits have you received, and what's the scope of these permits?
Yeah, so the Great Atlantic Salt Project has a full environmental assessment approved by the Newfoundland and Labrador government to advance the project. Out of that comes a number of permits that basically a list of permits that are required. We consider them at the procedural stage right now. So right now, we've received a full slate of early works permits for over $100 million of construction activities, which we are acting on at the moment. There will be further permits required as detailed engineering is completed and designs are submitted and approved by the government, but that's where we are at the moment.
Let's get into as well the financing here. So what's the status of the financing for this project, and what type of interest are you seeing from possible lenders or partners?
Yeah, so that was also something we announced in the press release. We have had a number of discussions with lenders. They're very advanced in detailed due diligence in our data room right now, and we expect to have financing package for this project put together by the end of the year, but we expect to have announcements of the success of the financing along the way as they become relevant. So it's something we've been working on for quite some time. For a project like this, you want to get it done right once, and we've been working diligently towards that.
And with that in mind, what are the next major milestones investors should be watching out for as the Great Atlantic Salt Project continues to advance?
Yeah, keep an eye out for advancements on the project front, like we've talked about, continuing to build it. And the financing is key. Obviously, right now we have detached the construction from the financing as a constraint because we did a couple raises in the last year or so. We raised $25 million that has allowed us to advance the project. But at some point, those will link up again. And so keep an eye out for the main project financing package and some other initiatives that we're always working on that we can't, of course, point to directly, but may be exciting for the market to hear about when and if they become a reality.
I understand you can't point to them directly, but before we let you go, Nolan, are there any other updates about the Great Atlantic Salt Project or Atlas Salt just generally as a company that you want either investors to be aware of or maybe just even hint at here?
Yeah, I just would re-emphasize, as I do to all investors, that the runway is well ahead of us. We've got a lot of room for growth. We've had some great success in the past year or so since I started. I started in June of last year. Check out our success since then. We aim to continue going forward. There's never been a better time to invest in Atlas Salt.
Great words there. Thank you so much to Nolan Peterson, CEO of Atlas Salt, for being here with us today. You can find his company, and its stock rather, on the TSXV as SALT or SALT. Very apt ticker there. Thanks again to Nolan. Great to have you on.
Thank you.
Oh, man. It's not over, man.
No, Joey.
Not over, bro.
It's too stressful. My cortisol levels, bro.
That's all right.
My cortisol levels are elevated. Elevated cortisol levels, man. I was like yelling, get him out of the box. Messi, eh?
Maybe O'Neal was at this. I was going to say maybe the guys will be kind and start 10 minutes early for you.
No, we could continue to trade here.
Continue to acting like you can't hear me.
Poor guy. All right, let's keep an eye out on side. I don't think Sia's there anymore, so I guess we're done the news segment. Let's keep an eye on some of these tickers, man. Let's bring them in. Let's see exactly what's running, because it's been a minute since we were looking at said chart. CLRO, man, continues to go. Unbelievable. 1560 area high. Beautiful flat top break there through 14. There was a lot of resistance. You could see the sellers were aggressive as hell at that $14 area, but there you go, taking out that level. I know, Katina, man. 1560 area high right now. I'd be looking for a possible 14 to 14 and a quarter retracement, but if it does lose 1450, I'd wait for confirmation of that, because that would mean it lost prior bar low. So be on the lookout there. CLRO still looks pretty good. SkyQ, I guess we got out of that one a little too early. Up into 284 it goes. I had to get out of that because it dipped into 55. So I wasn't watching too closely, so I had to make sure that we're all kosher on that. Skin continues, for whatever reason, to find support at the volume weighted average price. Every time it dips into that white line, it is being bought up, but it really can't shake that 118 seller there. So we'll have to see if it can get into 1 1/5. But those are the ones that I keep an eye on. We mentioned RXT earlier. RXT could be a buy here, guys. Here's the deal. This $7 area is, number one, it's been a very obvious area of support locally since we took it out at 1245, but it was also resistance earlier. So 7 holds up here. You could definitely see 7 1/4, but RXT is not a big mover on the day. It is kind of steady state structure, higher highs and higher lows. Not a bad look. Those are the ones that I'd keep my eye on, Joey, but there could be some new ones here coming in on the scanner. Let's take a quick look, see if anything new's kind of weaseled on in. What do we got over here? What's TVRD? No, that one's still a little bit below the volume weighted average price. Let's have a look, see what else is moving. IVVD, mentioned that one already. How about this one? SSPC, no, I'm not. That's a leveraged ETF. That's why I was telling you guys, a lot of the tickers today were leveraged ETFs. So I stayed away from a lot of them, but we're gonna keep a close eye out on that one. What do you got, my man, Joey?
Nothing, man. This is crazy stuff. All right, I was see what's going on with Microsoft and stuff. I mean, there's issues. SpaceX 100. Microsoft is cutting around 3,200 jobs in the Xbox gaming division. Yeah, I mean, as for Microsoft, man, this is a stock that I'm just really disappointed in its performance, and I hope that NVDA doesn't fall into that realm. Okay, so I mean, I think the numbers are drastically different between the two. You're up 1 1/4 here today. Strong move into this trend line. Let's see if that can be broken. Hopefully, I'm dead wrong, because I know there was somebody in the chat who's like, "Man, we're hella long NVDA," and I am too. I just don't like the look of this one's groove right now. And same thing with the NASDAQ, right? So we talked about constructing an iron condor at these levels. I do believe we're going to close in this chop within the next couple of days, and we're starting to perform these lower highs. Now, as for Microsoft, we'll head over to this specific underlying asset and see we have a whipsaw move here, but it's just unfortunate that it's been dead money for quite some time. It's really dramatic to say, but this is a top market cap name that's down 30% off of its highs. You don't want to see this from the best companies on the planet, All right, I just think it's odd. I don't think it's a good look. Obviously, the street and Wall Street has significantly more time than what the average investors do, right? They'll sit in these positions. They have no issues with anything, or I shouldn't say they have no issues, but they just have a lot more patience than what you and I typically have. Now, if you remain patient, then hopefully this is where we get the break of this name from 201, and then we climb back to that 238. Now, the fact that we rejected it to the tune of 12% on that first uptick, and then failed to establish that new high, I had the hunch that we were going to be in a little bit of trouble. And that's been the case. Are we in bear market territory right now? No, but we were on the brink of heading into down 20%. All right, so that makes things a little bit more difficult. Now, as for some of the memory storage, this is going to be a key teller on how today's print closes. Now, if you're looking to get involved with DRAM or some of these leveraged products, see how SanDisk is performing, all right? So you always, when you're playing DRAM, you have to keep an eye on the underlying assets, and I'm talking about the Western Digitals who were in it, the Seagates, right? So here's Seagate Technology down from $1,100 to $827 to the tune of 30%. So you go on these parabolic runs where everybody's all happy, but then I said, be cautious and be careful. Regardless of how hot you're going to be, the market will find a way to, or find any form of an excuse to sell off a little bit more. All right, so that's the boat that I stand on. I'm not saying that the trade is done, but the market has priced in a lot of big. And again, I keep falling back into the example of SK Hynix and Samsung and how 14 million retail investors and traders in South Korea are really helping drive those stocks higher. The KOSPI down the KOSPI, two names that it really consists of, which would make trading significantly easier in these circumstances. But when two names equal up 50% of the index, it causes for a lot of issues, in my opinion, okay? And that's where I was like, hey, when the time is right and this bottleneck is slowly starting to open up to the tune of where supply is running into demand and meeting demand, then there's going to be something, in my opinion, that could be absolutely treacherous for the index. All right. So ETHA positive. We were talking this name only up about 0.1%. Now we're 0.75% right now, guys. 1365 all the way to the top side, filling in this gap. So some relative strength in the past couple of days, starting to step in to the crypto space. Now, does that mean the sell-off is over? I don't think so, but I could be wrong, right? So 0.5% for Bitcoin. CRM, okay, well, you know the market is kind of going up when CRM's up 4%. Oh. But in the past, Sharif, from June 26th, it's only put in one red session. So CRM on a little bit of a run here, guys. BMNR yesterday up 13% as well too. Coinbase negative here today, and this is a name that I believe is just too heavily concentrated, and the ties between it and crypto are there. So you see that correlation, and it's not inverse, to down 60%. This is almost identical. So the performance of Coinbase is really going to fall on the performance of all the altcoins, and most importantly, Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right. So just keep that in mind, guys. Webull still down here. $7 is at a discount from that low of $4.55. You got 60%, just like that, Sharif. I tried rambling on for a little bit.
Oh, you're good, brother. Yeah, everything's kind of breaking down, though. That's the thing right now, Joey. We have everything's breaking down. Skin is losing the dollar. SkyQ is coming into that 260 area. If it loses that, I think it's over. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
No way. Unbelievable.
That's an epic collapse, dude.
Unbelievable. 3-2 Argentina. We're out. Wow. Oh my God. Come on, bro. That's a heartbreaker right there. It is what it is, man. Oh my days. Yeah, thank God I didn't go to that game. That would have been a full-on EKG for me at that level.
What's EKG?
Electrocardiogram.
Oh, so, yeah. Oh, yeah, the EKG machine. Yeah.
Oh my days. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Argentina's Argentina, so we'll take that.
How come they didn't put Antonella on the screen there?
I don't know, Joey. Maybe she's hiding in the stadium there. But
it might be offside, Sharif.
I don't think so. I think that looks good. CLRO, guys, losing 14. This could be an interesting one right around that $13 area. That was where structure was holding, but to me, I would have been looking for 14 initially, though, because of all the topping tail candles in and around that area. And the fact that it didn't hold up there, right? And now it's down into 1350. To me, I'd be staying away from this one. Moreover, it's below the 10 EMA on the 5. So 13, I'd possibly look for a dip trade, but I'd be very, very stringent in where I give my stop to. TVRD, we said very little about this one, but this one is coming back into the volume weighted average price. It had a fantastic looking morning, and it didn't even do anything in the pre-market. That's the interesting part about it. And then it just lost trend, alas, for whatever reason. It found support at 3.25 over here. So if it comes back into 315, I want to say, 320, 315, and holds that level, it could be a nice VWAP retracement above. What else? RXT just down a little bit below $7 at the moment, but to me, this is still holding general area structure at around 695, and you can see the topping tail candles in and around there as well. So those are the ones I'd be looking at in the afternoon. We went through the scanners. Sadly, nothing showing up on the scanners other than some of the leveraged ETFs. But we had a feeling that it was going to be a little bit of a light day today in small cap gapper world. So we'll kind of take the days as they come, Joey, because you don't really make up the rules here and show what's good. So just looking through the scanner real quick here, guys, to see if anything new. BRBR. Okay, when did this one make a move into VWAP? I remember BRBR, we were watching this one. This one could be a nice mover here if it can get above 1410. I'd be on the lookout for that. It had a pretty prolonged retracement into VWAP. Now it's kind of holding trend a little bit, but it's a little bit light on volume as well, BRBR. But that's all I've got at the moment.
Yeah, man.
Everything else kind of breaking down right now.
Do I see trend on the past few 15 minutes, past few days? Yeah, let's pull that up, man. I mean, we talked about this not too long ago in the news segment. So, I understand there's a lot going on here. So we'll just try to clean up. There's just multiple individuals in larger firms that begin pushing the price down. Again, I stand in the camp that once everything is cleared up from an antitrust standpoint, they pay their fine because that's what it's going to end up being, is that they're going to have to pay an insane amount of cash. There might be some regulatory change as well in regards to the apps, which could obviously be some form of a hindrance, especially if they're not allowing teenagers or anyone under 16 on the app without any parental supervision. But there it is, a nice little strong uptick from 609 up to 611. Now, is the volume supporting this? I like that you called it out because that's a pretty aggressive break. Meta image available today across. So something is coming in, AI app on Meta, Instagram stories in US, WhatsApp in some countries coming soon to Facebook. So MuseSpark dropping something, guys. MuseSpark coming in, and that's when we've seen that uptick. So Alan, thanks for pointing that out. MuseSpark image available today across Meta AI apps on Meta AI, Instagram stories in US, WhatsApp in some countries, something coming soon to Facebook. All right. So, it's nothing new. Image generation. Oh, there you go, Sharif. Now you can start to use a little bit more of that compute power that
remember OpenAI canceled their image generation because it was just like melting, or not their image generation, video generation, because it was like melting their GPUs.
And the token expense is just insane.
Well, because you're paying for it too, right?
An insane amount.
Yeah, they don't even give it for the free.
Yeah, so Alan, there you go. You got volume.
We gave him that one.
Yeah, we gave him one on back. Yeah, I know. We better get out of here.
Neil gave us one. We gave him one right back.
You shut it off?
Yeah, it's over.
It's over now? Yeah. Damn, man.
All right, guys. It has been real. See, Joey and I, same bat time, same bat channel. Let's send it over to the big boys. Peace.
Yeah, that's like... Welcome back, everybody.